It is.
So slow.
Whenever you unpause for any host, it's always good to go on speed 1 so it doesn't, like, have a fucking aneurysm.
I think it's good now.
It looks alright. Alright, let's see what the AI did to my focus tree. Oh.
There we go.
Oh. They didn't choose a political path, thank Jesus. Alright, cool.
Wait, so what did it do? What?
They've been working on political stuff this whole time. Or just like foreign policy. It's going down cooperation with China. Let me kill that real quick.
Based.
Alright, I'm gonna start stream and start roleplaying, man, so I appreciate you letting me in.
Have a good
Thanks,
one.
man. Okay. How's it going, guys? We are going to be playing some Hoi 4 today. I know. Shocking. We're doing some Millennium Dawn. We're doing Myanmar, which in 2000 is still very much, what's up, Lollipop? Very much underneath the military junta, which we'll have to decide if we want to stay with or not. Their focus tree isn't fantastic, but it's not bad, and we can definitely work with it. I'm not going to go down these yet because we want a little bit of an opportunity for orientation. We want an opportunity for some actual roleplay with players before we decide what we're going to do. We have a border conflict with the Shan state. Myanmar technically controls all these little areas. There's the Kachin state, which are Christians. There's the Wa state. There's the Shan state. And then there's the Karen state. These are all technically in Myanmar. They're revolts and internal civil wars that have been ongoing for huge periods of time. And I believe they're not really even resolved to this day. So we have a lot of internal issues we're dealing with. Wait, is it the country in war with rebel groups in 2000 or 2017? Yes. They're just permanently in like a civil war, basically. This is a real thing, too. I was supposed to start this game at the beginning, but I had some issues with the Paradox launcher due to the absolutely lovely engineering that Paradox is so well known for. Alright, they're both locked into battle, so we can't do anything. We got in here a little late. It's been around 8 months since the beginning of the game. I didn't want to hold people up, so the game got started without us, unfortunately, but it's fine. We have a lot to do here. Okay, so generally speaking, Myanmar, it's got a very long, complicated history. Much like many states in Southeast Asia, it was colonized by, drumroll please, the British, shockingly. I know, it's so shocking. They were obviously colonized by the East India Trade Company and basically put under, obviously, tyrannical, you know, semi-slave conditions by the British. They got their independence, I believe, after the Second World War, and from then on, they've basically been more or less a military junta. In real life, the military junta was pushed out of power in 2011, but then they did seize power again in 2020. So although there was a bit of a democratic period in real life, it is currently a military junta again. We're in 2000, so this is still really deep in the middle of the military junta. So we can decide to kind of go democratic reformation, or we can stay with the military. So we'll see how this goes.
Yes, hello.
Hello there.
This is a delegate from China, and we would like to know if the government of Myanmar will be interested in Chinese investment.
We'd be open to such an offer. The Myanmar is, as you know, one of the quickest growing economies on the planet and has the ability to become an Asian tiger. So if you wish to cooperate with our government, assuming certain things can be understood, we'd be open to it.
Great. CCP shall send investment offer, and
if you're looking for economic cooperation with Myanmar, though, we would be very interested in securing potentially some arms contracts in the future as well, given the very powerful nature of the Chinese military arms and technologies. Is that something that the CCP would be open to?
we may discuss this matter later on. As,
we don't need to agree on anything now, but we would like to know if this is something that you'd be open to, because there are certainly many other nations that might also be open to such an offer, and we would like to, wait to speak to them if we couldn't at least get a verbal agreement that you'd be open to it in the future.
Well, before giving you an answer, I must ask the chairman's opinion.
Very well. It's understandable. Take your time.
So, I shall come back after talking with the chairman about
Very well.
the question of what are you asking again?
In the future, the opening up of arms deals to basically procure our more cutting-edge Chinese military arms to be produced in Myanmar, as well as just general military cooperation, broadly speaking.
Okay. And you were open for the investment, am I right?
Good.
So I shall come back later on after I talk with the chairman.
What's up, Jakey? Either one. They're both entertaining. Claus and Imbo are both streaming now, which is awesome. If you want to go watch them, they'll be very good. Sorry, my computer is my loading screen. I'm kicked now, so I won't be able to experience for other worse. Have a great time and day. All right, YouTube, Elf. That sucks, man. Hopefully you get a good PC in the future. They weren't really pushed out though. They were just put. They put a frontman because of the people on the verge of violent uprising. Once the heat had died down, they got rid of the frontman on false pretenses. That's true. Yeah, the woman who led, like, basically the democracy movement in Myanmar was pretty heavily involved with the military junta, so it's kind of a sad situation. Alright, see you around, Jakey. So we have a bunch of different decision stuff we can do here. We're having a debt crisis, so we'll have to deal with that. We're going to have to talk to the Chinese and the Indians about a debt bailout. We have stuff we can do here for, where is it? Internal conflicts in Myanmar, which I'll read in a minute, and then the Buddhist issues, because we are Theravada, and the rebels are Muslims and Christians. We're Buddhists. We also have the child soldier issue, which is a huge thing, and then we have the ability to build a new capital. So there's a lot we can do here. So, okay, China's going to invest in us to start off with 43 billion, which is a good deal. They're looking for heavy cooperation, and an arms deal. Good. I clicked the wrong button. Oh well. That's not what I was asking from them. I was asking for the ability to license their equipment, not just get given it. So we'll have to renegotiate that. Let's take a look at our economy and our modifiers. 32% nationalist for the military junta, and then 63% non-aligned, primarily under the National League of Democracy, which is, of course, being heavily repressed. What's up, Moose? Just got into it, man. Just got into it, unfortunately. I had some issues. We have a... Wow, 103 billion GDP. That's so bad. That's insane. That's why our debt's so bad, because it's almost 200% of our GDP, which is dangerous.
Yes, hello.
Hello there. Is this the Chinese ambassador again? So, we received your offer of equipment, but I think you misunderstood what the military junta of Myanmar is interested in. We are primarily looking to be able to license technologies off of China in the future and produce it domestically. We want a partner going forward, both economically and militarily. As you know, we have many internal conflicts in our country, and we need someone who's willing to cooperate with us in that front. I know that China is obviously one of the strongest world economies and militaries, and we are open to working with you, but as I said before, we want a partner, not someone who's just looking for back and forth economic deals.
I know, it's just, did Charles send you something?
He did.
If it sent it, I think it sent it the wrong thing. At least the Chinese government agreed to your offers. It's just I think it sent it the wrong thing.
Indeed, but again, that's not what we were asking for. We don't want your equipment. In the future, we want licenses.
Yes, licenses were okay. It's just he sent you the wrong thing because I didn't explain it correctly. This is just yes. But the CCP can agree to your offer.
Good. And of course, Myanmar looks forward to cooperating with China in the future. When you feel it is necessary, there are many technologies that Myanmar is unable to produce domestically, which would be interesting in procuring from your government. Although we also do like the military factories for it, so it's something long-term we do wish to begin to work with more closely.
Well, you're welcome to come discuss these deals in Beijing.
We will do so. There's a few other ambassadors we need to see first, I believe.
Have a good day, sir.
Thank you for your time, Ambassador. We are an ASEAN member. ASEAN is a primarily economic intergovernmental organization based in Jakarta that was originally established in 1967. It has since expanded to include most countries that were originally excluded in the false environment of the Cold War, and has sought to counter the growing influence of China, as well as maintain independence from the West. It is committed to the principles of multilateralism, international law, peaceful dispute settlement, and non-interference in self-determination. We have a repressive government. Of course we do. We have the Rohingya crisis. The Rakhine state is the occasional outbursts of violence between Muslims describing themselves as Rohingya and the local Rakhine Buddhists, as well as the Tatmadaw. The often brutal treatment of the Rohingya is by the state of Myanmar has drawn strong condemnation from human rights organizations in Western countries. These Buddhist nationalists in Rakhine state and elsewhere in Myanmar see the violence as a justified measure against illegal Bengali immigrants. There's been a lot of massacres and genocides. It's been bad. Ethnic insurgencies, which we are seeing, that's all these little states here. A political military. Ever since 1962, the Burmese coup of the Talmado has been the dominant force in politics in Myanmar, and to stand for civilian rule, democracy, and freedom of speech on the one hand, and a unified military culture shaped by decades of intense counterinsurgency warfare on the other, have combined to produce a cohesive and politically active military. Signs that this is beginning to change have only recently begun to emerge. We have Western sanctions due to a lot. Americans and EU do not like us. We have child soldiers in the army. Yeah. IMF debt relief received, and we are a non-power. We also have a very high interest rate. We have a debt crisis right now we need to deal with. You summoned Ohio Man back from the dead on YouTube. What's up, guests? How you doing? Those microstates around Myanmar is that meant to represent a minority as the regime is so-called friendly accepting with. Yes, it is. But it's really an internal civil war. I'll look at Morocco in a minute.
Sorry, Ham.
I'm not dealing with rules, man. So you'll have to go talk to Ben.
No, not rules. I want to ask, are we still allowed to do UN General Assembly votes?
Yes.
Yeah, because I want to propose for India's entry into UNSC once we're in the UN meeting.
That would be a UN Security Council decision.
Oh, okay then.
Yeah.
And also, while I'm here, I would like to RP for a bit. Good evening. Here at the United States, we are officially extending our invitation to Myanmar despite our cultural differences and our sanctions on you. We would like to invite Myanmar as an internationally recognized UN state to join the United Nations peacekeeping forces.
Frankly, I'm very surprised to hear this, Ambassador. What is with the sudden change in outlook by the U.S. government? You've been very hostile with us in the past.
The United States have already abandoned that method of policy, as you have clearly read from our president's recent controversial statements in front of the White House lawn, saying that we will be adopting the United States' new way and abandoning the
We have
old
not. Myanmar is not in the
ways
habit of keeping up with the policies and public statements of nations that we do not view as friendly.
Of course. Yet, we would still like to inform that Myanmar that the United Nations will now be suspending the current sanctions on Myanmar once we have been shown that Myanmar is willing to deal with these problems internally.
We've always been dealing with them internally. It seems like a bit of a meaningless phrase. What exactly are you looking for to get rid of these sanctions?
Child soldiers.
That is a major issue that we are trying to crack down on.
Of course, once that has been corrected, we will immediately cancel all of the sanctions that were put on Myanmar.
We are doing our best to deal with that situation. We have not done as much as we could on that in the past, and I will assure you, Ambassador, that is one of the biggest issues we are attempting to deal with here, as we do work to make major reforms.
Again, as part of the United States, we would like to state that United States will be willing to offer a helping hand to any countries who are willing to deal with human rights crisis within their country. and Myanmar will be a top receiver of our funds for the Human Rights Relief Funds recently established by the United States.
That is wonderful to hear. There's a lot of work to be done here. As you know, there's many within the military who do not seek these reforms. They wish us to stay stagnant and continue the policies of the past, but I, as well as others, are looking now to make some very extreme changes. As you know, Myanmar's economy is one of the quickest growing in the world, and I think that our future is through that. So we must ensure that we make necessary actions to open ourselves up to international investment. The Asian tigers have shown what Asia can be when invested in, and I am sure that America would also be interested in finding other investment areas such as ours, which would be, I think, absolutely prime for return on an investment to your investors.
Of course. Yeah.
Is there anything else I can do for you, Ambassador?
All right. Very well. We will come back in about 1 year's time after the United Nations meeting.
Very well. We'll speak with you then.
Very well.
What's up, Marlon? How you doing? Chinese nukes in Myanmar. I don't know if that's a good idea. How much money do I have to print for it to lead to no issues? It's that's the political power dump. What that doesn't actually do anything. So yeah. I actually want to see you play at AMD again. Nice. Are you going to play non-aligned or go military? I haven't decided yet. We're gonna go based on the roleplay. So I've got some ideas for both, but we'll see. I can't find Millennium Dawn. Any ideas where I can play it? You mean the mod itself, M&A? I can link it to you if that's what you mean. You should be able to find it by Googling. There's Morocco, by the way. I'm doing good, Viking. How you doing? Oh, yeah, you need it? What's up, Samurai? Let me go find it. I'll link it to you real quick. So I'm gonna change this music. This is traditional Myanmarese music. It's like harp music. I wanted to listen to it for a bit, but not my favorite, I'm gonna be honest. First day not melting from the heat. Yeah, are you in Europe, Marlon? I assume you're in Europe. This is the mod you are looking for.
Oh, here is the king of Thailand, Bhumibol Adulyadej.
Hello there. This is the
Hello.
leader of the Myanmar government. Tan Shui, what can I do for you?
Mr. Tan Shui, let me shake your hands at first. A
Of
man
course,
that can
of course.
truly rule his country, not like other people. I'm here as the king of Thailand, and I'm here to talk about, first, the future of your nation, and second, about economical deals. What do you want to talk first?
The future should always be planned for first, don't you think?
Yes, of course. Yes. Then let's talk about the future. Are you willing to continue your course as you do right now? I mean, you rule your country with harsh hands, and some people in your country want freedom. Will you give in, or will you continue?
Personally,
This is quite
I will
important.
not allow for these reforms that people are wanting. Now, I am for changing some of the policies we've had that are proving to be not very useful to what we need to do for our nation, but I will not agree to these democratic reforms that are being proposed. I will not personally ever do that. We must incorporate the rebel states and end the civil wars. We need to crack down and get rid of the child soldier issue, which has plagued our country now for quite some time. And I will admit my government has been a little bit stagnant in that. And we need to open ourselves up to investment and to tourism, which we find much success in from such neighbors as your own country, which its economy has benefited much from these things.
Indeed, tourism is one of the, most important things in our economy.
Indeed.
And we could actually help to build your own tourism sectors. I mean, we have.
We would love to
very
cooperate
experienced
with the
men.
Thai government on that. I know that many of my ministers have some ideas on that for in the future, but there are some bigger issues we need to deal with, such as our debt crisis and dealing with the child soldier issue.
I see.
Boy, this
Children should be in school, not in the army. I mean,
Agreed.
they're
Well,
ineffective in the army.
When they grow
You're sick.
older, it does them much good to be brought up in the military life and to find some discipline, but not when they're children. They do need to be educated.
Indeed. And you can create other organizations for them. Not straight military, but pre-military.
Mandatory
organizations.
service, I think, is important, but not when they're young. They can go into the military
Mhm.
after they have their basic education.
We can agree on that, actually, yes. And by the way, what do you think about some investments in your future touristical areas?
We would appreciate
My
them greatly.
experienced-
I will say, unfortunately,
Yeah,
Myanmar is
experience
incapable of
is-
mutual investment at this time due to our, again, spiraling debt crisis. So do keep that in mind.
That's no problem.
Hmm.
That's no problem. I mean, yeah, I awaited this. Don't worry. But you can invest anytime that you are, in better shape. So don't worry. I can wait for it. But we would like to invest as soon as possible in you because we see you as a future partner. Actually,
We would be willing to speed up and accelerate all those projects. As you know, Myanmar is growing quickly, but we are desperately in need of more investments. And there's very few places we're willing to get them. So we thank you very much for your support, King of Thailand.
course.
And we also see you as a potential partner in the future to cooperate with. So we will look forward to beginning to build a strong Southeast Asia together. I am curious
Very
about one thing.
great.
Do you plan on
Yes,
following the Asian tiger model, or is Thailand looking for more of a tourist-based economy, or what are you wishing to go in the future? If you would be willing to discuss it with me, of course.
Yes. I mean, my country wants to be quite independent from all of the greater powers like China, Russia, or the United States.
Mm.
We are very proud, and as long as I'm king, and I will stay as a king until my death, you can be assured of that. This will not change, so we will be independent from them, and we will stick with our tourism sectors and with other sectors that I'm planning to open actually. A lot of
Good to
trade
hear.
will happen soon, and a lot of businesses will open soon. So this is our economical program right now. But we have some political changes in my nation right now. I don't know if you are aware of the aware of the news from Thailand, I mean.
I have not
But
stayed
we
up
have some
abreast of it as I
election
should have.
protests. Yeah, I mean, we have some protests against me as king that want to stick with the premier minister, but we have a lot of counter-protests from loyal yellow shirts that, support me. And let me say you something, the future for me will even better. So I'm planning to increase my rights as a leader, and the people want
Of
this
course.
as well. This is.
I
as
will
much as
I will
I
say
can tell
this.
you right now.
I may not be a monarch like you, but I have a position of power that allows me to do much more than the stagnant democracies of the world. I think many fear the competency of powerful men such as ourselves. They see how quickly we can get things done and how quickly we can bring discipline and order to our countries, and they fear it. Many find opportunities through chaos, and it is the duty of men like us to ensure that there is none. So,
Indeed,
you will
my
have the
friend.
support of the military of Myanmar. I will make that very clear in the future if you have any internal issues, since we are seeking to be partners.
I'm very, very glad to hear this, my friend. This is a very great road for both of our nations and for both of us as persons. I would like to invite you as soon as possible to one of my yachts in Phuket.
Oh,
It's a very beautiful island. And there I can show you some of our greatest hotels and attractions
of
that you
course.
can get inspired from.
As I said, we view you as a framework for the future of tourism in Myanmar. These Westerners, they have much money and they spend it wherever. We will take it and build up our own countries through its power.
Indeed, my friend. Indeed.
One
But
last
thanks
thing
for
before
having
you
me.
go. I do have one more thing to say.
Yeah.
My military will be conducting some very aggressive actions against the terrorist states within our country. I'd just like to make you aware of that before it happens. So, just so you're aware. Again, there will be no extreme behavior, but we are going to launch some offensive. So, I do warn you in advance.
So I'm okay. I'm glad that you informed me. If you need anything, just tell me.
Of course. Thank you for your time, King of Thailand, and I hope to speak with you in the future.
Yes, we will have further great talks, believe me on that. Thanks for having me. Goodbye.
Goodbye. To annex them, we actually have to, To annex them, we have to get influence over them. And then we have to use 300 political power, so let me see how this works. These Myanmar songs are just not doing it for me. Let me look at what else there is. You can always play lo-fi. We'll give it another one of these playlists a shot here. Thank you for the resub, Carl. How's it going, man? Hope all is well in Eastern Europe. Should have it play modern day Turkey with a mod that gives a great focus tree and that can have 9 detailed ways.
Talk about
It's on my list. Sorry?
Hello, Mr. Bond. I would like to talk about joining this pact with me in India called the Some Indian Continent. Has we'll need to work together to thrive in this new world.
What exactly is the nature of this pact?
Economic and military help all through us.
I find it frankly shocking to hear that Pakistan and India have reconciled so much to be entering into such an agreement.
Well, India has given me compensation for his to recognize his claim on the Kashmir region.
He's given up his claim on Kashmir?
No, I have gave him Kashmir, because Kashmir of mine for economic and
President Musharraf, that is shocking to hear, but good, I suppose. Less conflict in the region would be useful, and having you and India at each other's throats constantly doesn't benefit anyone, so that is good to hear, but again, very surprising.
And he has given me lots of stuff in return. We wouldn't have given to him for nothing. That would be an insult to our nation. But we have given them. He has given us a substantial boost to our economy, and that will help us more than just having.
Indeed. Well, again, I must say, I commend you for making the first step to resolve the Pakistani-Indian issues. I hope that it will last. In regards to your proposal with this group, we would be open to discussions, but Myanmar is not presently willing to enter into new major agreements, as we see ourselves as a strong member of the ASEAN agreement, for one, and do wish to prioritize our efforts on that. However, I will say that my government is open to discussions, but it would require, I think, some more time to pass. We are not very close with either you or India, and we would need to rebuild those bonds before we could consider such a thing.
Yes, once you are ready, you're welcome into.
I thank you, President Musharraf, for inviting us to this, and it shows much of your country's interest in reconciling not just with India, but building relationships with other Asian partners, and we're very glad to hear that. Watch out for tsunamis in Phuket. Wasn't there one in like 2003 or something down there? Wasn't that the huge one? Are you looking forward to this game and any others? Yeah, no, this has been fun. This is the Asia scenario. I've been looking forward to this. I joined kind of late because I had issues. The game I am so excited for is the tomorrow's Stellaris game, which again, I don't know if the Hoy players will watch that, but I'm very excited for that one because it's our first tiered game since we revamped the Discord, and tiered games are with our really good role players. So the game tomorrow will be with our top tier role players. So I'm so excited for that. Watching this while playing a month-long trip to Thailand for Thai tourism.
Good day. This is Mr. Tranduklyo. I'm gonna butcher this name every time. From the Socialist Republic of Vietnam. I'm gonna speak to Mr.
Minister.
She.
Shan Shui. Or sorry, what's his name again? Than Shui. Yes.
Shui.
Hello there. Welcome. Welcome to Yangon. Take a seat,
Thank
Minister.
you.
What can I do
Thank
for you?
I'm just here to discuss with you economical ties as well as your commitment to Asian.
Myanmar is heavily committed to that commitment and wishes to cooperate with all fellow Asian members. What exactly are you here to specifically discuss? Let's get into the details of it. Before we begin, I would like to say, I know that many Asian members and many of our neighbors, generally speaking, have been very worried about the internal civil conflicts in Myanmar and the child soldier issue. But I do want to reassure all of our friends, allies, and partners that the child soldier issue is our #1 priority right now, and we are cracking down heavily on that. We want to rebrand Myanmar into a properly well-run but disciplined country in the modern world to cooperate with our friends abroad.
Sounds good. Sounds good. We appreciate your commitment to removing that issue, as it is really horrible and really damaged your reputation in the world.
Indeed.
So I'm very happy that your government is heavily working on that. Also, Happy New Year.
Indeed,
Just
Happy
ended
New Year.
2021. As well, so the details on why I'm here is the following. Actually, two things. The first, the easier thing is investments. How much are you willing to do? We could offer you a 1-for-1 deal in civilians.
At this time, we are undergoing a debt crisis and are unable to do any foreign investments at all, as our debt to GDP rate is over, I think, 200% now. Although we are very interested in this in the future, right now we just simply cannot justify this given the dangerous circumstances our economy is moving towards very quickly.
I understand. But then, just as a token of goodwill and for also as our commitment to Asian, we're gonna give you 1 civilian right now for free.
We appreciate your willingness to invest in us in this manner. And again, we do see all of our Southeast Asian friends and allies as absolutely pivotal in our future economically. But as you know, Myanmar has been a nation that has struggled with economic reforms, primarily due to, I think, many of the older factions of the military, as well as the remnants of the British imperialism here. But we are confident as our economy grows, we will be able to provide more help and aid to our friends, of which we do see Vietnam as being one.
Of course, we are very happy to hear that, Mr. Shanshawe. I'm gonna butcher that name as well. Sorry. Also, another issue I wanna bring up is the issue with China. Have you been speaking with China?
China has approached us and offered investments and shown interest in military cooperation with Myanmar, which I suppose we are open to, but we are always hesitant to work with them, especially as a member of ASEAN.
I would advise to be very cautious of China, because China has been very aggressive in the Spratleys. It has been, they have been militarizing the Spratleys a lot. It took a lot of effort with Vietnam and my counterpart in the Philippines to convince China to a deal that the Spratleys shall not be militarized a lot more as they already are. We came to an agreement here to only place 2 commando units in the Spratleys. And not more. Also, no Navy and no.
Were these talks directly between ASEAN and China, or was this Vietnam and China?
This was Vietnam, China, and Philippines.
Understandable. Again, their militarization attempts in the South China Sea are very dangerous. I am confident that Chairman Zemin will not push this too heavily, but as I'm sure you're aware, there are many rumors that he may be ousted very soon, or, I mean, he has been in charge for quite some time. And us in Myanmar are beginning to go very concerned about who his successor might be, and if they will be more aggressive towards not just Asian members, but the South China Sea, which, as we know, is the potential to become a very dangerous hot zone between some of the bigger powers. And since we are more focused on economic expansion and reforms currently, we don't want to see that get too hostile. I'm sure Vietnam would agree.
Oh yes, of course. A kinetic conflict with China would be horrible for the whole region.
We're in agreement.
And we don't want to see that. You said Mr. Zeman will be ousted soon. Our Secret Service has not.
I'm not saying he's going to be ousted. We're just aware. We're aware that there is a growing desire of Zeman potentially to step down. I don't know if this is going to happen or not. The Shanghai clique is obviously very powerful right now, but there have been rumors that he is beginning to grow tired of rule, and he may just simply continue. But we have heard those. I don't know if Vietnam has heard similar suggestions.
Not. This is the first time I hear this.
At a roleplay, I'm going on a historical basis in like 1999 and like not in the game, so just heads up.
Okay. Back in roleplay. No, we didn't hear of this, but I will tell our Secret Service to be more vigilant.
Something
about
certainly
this.
to be mindful of, though I'm not speaking absolutes.
Mhm.
Is there anything at this time, Minister, as there is some internal matters I have to deal with right now?
Of course, no. This has been everything I've been speaking to. I wanted to speak with you
Wonderful.
about.
And I will say, if you get approached by the members of the National League for Democracy, I would ask as a personal favor you do not receive them in Vietnam, as they are considered dangerous to our current government.
Of course, this is noted. We will not do any dealings with them.
Thank
We
you.
see you as the one true government and no one else.
Absolutely. We will speak soon.
We will speak soon. Have a good day.
You as well. All right.
Thank you.
We need to do some internal stuff and events here. All right. This is online. Yes, it is, Gio. It is online. It's an online game. I think there's 26 or 28 people in this game. Can you roll for seduction? Is it Vietnamese New Year in January, February? Is it not on January 1st? You might be right about that. Do you know about any of the empires you'll be playing with, or do they make their stuff tomorrow? No, it's all in there. Samurai in the Stellaris sign-up channel in... God damn it. In the Discord, there's all the information. They are so well made. The backstory is already fantastic. What's up, Condor? Yeah, I really only enjoy playing Millennium Dawn and Hoi right now. Show player map? Sure. Is the 5th international allowed by the rule set? Yes. Just role play it. Don't be Mimi. Let's player map mode. It's all of Asia, pretty much. The Philippines DC'd, but it's all Asia and then the US. The Asia scenario. Alright, I'm gonna write out a Diplo post because we are in need of one. Someone just tagged us, actually. North Korea food sanctions lifted. Oh, the US is lifting sanctions on North Korea. It's reports from... let's see here. As the military junta in Myanmar continues to express interest in reforming some of their more draconian policies and deal with the child soldier crisis, which has plagued their country for decades. It appears to many as though the power, supremacy of the military is no longer absolute. Calls for reform have, for the most part, been ignored, and the media continues to be entirely controlled by the state. Reports from the capital now suggest that the democracy leagues are beginning to cooperate in an attempt to form a united front against the military. In a speech earlier this week, what's his name? Thon Shui made it clear that despite the changes coming to his government's priorities, it is only through the discipline and focus of the military that order is kept. He suggested that any moves for reforms would result in a crackdown and mass arrests. Despite this, our reporters on the ground suggest that this has done little to prevent many from beginning to organize and prepare for protests and more to come. The danger is clear. Democracy does not come without a price. One moment. I want to finish a article really quick. Give me a minute.
Oh, sorry.
I've been doing diplomacy since I got in, so 1 second. Make your own news. Okay, and then we'll do. I mean, why do you post Al Jazeera as one of the shittiest news sources? Because they cover things in the non-Western world that most of the major ones don't, and they're recognizable. You think American news companies really go to Southeast Asia unless, like, we're there? No.
Hello, I hope that I'm not bothering you.
Yes,
just want
I am
to
finishing an
invite
article.
you-
Just 1 minute.
Yes, no problem.
Hello.
He's writing something to the media.
Military stays resolute. Forms are not a path to democracy. Says.
When is the
Yeah.
meeting starting?
I get
As
loud,
soon
so
as
real quick.
possible, just
Agreed,
wait
get
in my
loud real quick.
capital. Yeah, there are music, there's everything. Don't worry, just
Where's
wait there.
loud?
Oh, there, yeah.
Alright, wonderful. I actually got a
Right
news
in the
report out.
capital.
Alright, back in roleplay.
Yeah, you are invited to the very first Asian meeting of this century, my friend.
Wonderful. When
I
will
hope
it
you
be
will
held and
attend
where?
In the next seconds, actually. Right now, in my capital. Just follow me.
Very well. Iran, if you would not mind waiting until I will send a diplomat to you as soon as this is done. Is that all right?
Yes, we're gonna be mourning the loss of Hafez al-Assad in.
Ah,
Yeah,
yes.
your channel, yeah, okay.
I fixed the limit.
Thank you, thank you.
Where is his channel? I'll find him.
Thanks for coming. I think we need to wait for the other attendants.
Of course.
We're all here.
Hafiz al-Assad is dead.
Vietnam will join.
That's why you
So
hire a
when it
sexy
come-
secretary? True.
No, that's
Welcome to
our
Bangkok.
meeting.
I love
Alright.
the music,
True.
by the
This is
way.
why I
Here
need
are
co-ops in
free
these games.
drinks,
Oh my gosh.
great music. Very nice to see you all here. We are here to talk about the problems and hopes of the Asian countries. We listen to all of you, and we are here to cooperate. So I would like to start with the first topic, if you guys don't
Who is
mind.
breathing into their microphone? Swear to God. Sorry. It's pissed me off.
Whoa, calm down.
Yeah, it was
That's-
Jens, I guess.
This always pisses me off. Anyway, go on.
I'm sorry, I spilled Pepsi over my keyboard. I'll be back.
I love the music, by the way.
Excuse me?
I
Loud
love the
music?
music.
Okay. Back to RP. So I would like to start with the first topic. I had some how should I say, bad information about Laos actually. He put the troops, as the leader of Laos, Kamtai Shipandon, put the troops onto the Thailand border, and then they bring their troops to the border of Vietnam, which we both don't understand. So we would like to get some answers for this premier of Laos.
Can you wait 2 minutes?
Yes, I can actually wait for a minute.
Yes,
Maybe we
I
can
would like-
continue then with another topic, yes?
I would like to bring to prominence the Malayan housing market crash. I think that you all should take this as a sign of humility that does not need to be taken. But I would greatly suggest not doing what my country has done and watching it crumble from being an economic boom and growing power to a negative GDP country.
Well, we wish the best of luck for your country. Do you need any help?
No, we have managed to drag ourselves out of this in just under a year, but I want to bring this to prominence as I believe other countries would be less resilient to a crash such as this.
Of course, we
Foreshadowing.
would. Yeah, we would like to. Maybe we can publish some documents of the mistakes and what you learned from it,
Of
and
course,
give it to the other leaders that attended
of
here.
course. I will work on doing that for you all as well.
Perfect. Thank you.
Do you expect this to go to other countries in Southeast Asia? Because after the Asian crisis recently, I think many nations, including Myanmar, is worried that we could see something like that happen again, perhaps without the capital flows from the IMF that really saved us last time.
Yes, currently we have managed to stabilize it. It just takes a lot of political, what's the word, maneuvering. It requires a lot of hardships through your people. I believe my government, being
I am
a
back.
much more centralized and authoritarian government than most of the ASEAN, was able to do this through what's the word for it?
With harsh hands, with strong
Pulling
and
the China
first
shop
hands.
maneuvers
Oh.
to fix what we had broken. I don't think it will spread to the rest of Southeast Asia, but I do think the rest of Southeast Asia is vulnerable to it happening to them.
Yes. So thanks for this information, and as we said, I'm very glad that you will provide us with some documents about what you learned from it and what we can do right if we are affected actually. Very glad to have this information. And now I heard that the leader of Laos, Mr. Kamtai Shipandong, is back.
Yeah. Sorry for the delay. I spilled a Pepsi can over my keyboard. I had to fix that.
Oh,
um,
Yes.
So yeah. Regarding the troop issue, we have had logistical issues with troops, which made us at first put troops on the Thailand border. The Thailand government asked us to send them to the Vietnam border.
That's not true. I need to say
That
something
is-
to this. That's not true. You asked me if you should bring them then to the Vietnamese border, and then I said
Yes,
to you,
and you
I don't
approved of it.
care.
You
Yeah, I
said
approve because
you
I
said that would be
I
better.
don't care.
So I
So
sent him there.
Thailand did indeed approve to this. This is quite insulting to us.
Of course, I
shocking.
approve of this because I don't wanted them to have them on my
And
border.
then-
So
I
you
came
want
to-
me to worry about them? That's interesting.
Guys, can I propose a deal? Because
Long-
Vietnam did the
yes.
exact same and asked me to send back. So I have a deal. I put
Yes,
half the army on
we did
each
the
side.
same.
Vietnam.
No, you should bring your troops away from both of our borders. That's
Gentlemen,
my-
very briefly, I'd just like to say that we are having some major protests in the capital in Yangon in Myanmar. We'd just like to let all the other nations know that the military firmly has this under control. Not to worry about it.
Yeah.
All right.
So safe already.
So you
Malaya
just
would like.
yeah,
I
excuse me.
apologize, you go.
No problem. Continue.
I would like to offer Malaya, or not Malaya. Malaya would like to offer to Myanmar the special forces units that are expert counter-terrorists and.
If you would like to send
anti-riot.
some military advisors, we would appreciate it, but our own security forces have this under control. We thank you for your offer, though.
Of course, of course.
And I want to come back to the actual topic, Mr. Kamtai Shipandon. So you said that Mr. Luang of Vietnam said that your troops should come to my border, right? So
He approved
you-
of me sending them back.
Yeah, you see. So I would say that we are done with this problem. I think we are quit. I think the youth says it like this. So we should let the situation go, right?
What I propose
Mr.
is
Luang?
I can have half of the army on each side. That will make none of you guys feel threatened. And
We would agree to this.
We would agree to this as well, but I need to say that I will station some troops on the border as well for safety reasons.
no worries.
Okay.
What about the Chinese situation in the South China Sea? Vietnam, I've
We
seen
have-
you have voted in favor of signing a deal with the Chinese, which practically legalized their claim to the South China Sea.
We did sign the deal. However, this deal has been kind of avoided by the Chinese when they begun to heavily militarize the Spotlies, which has been happened in.
My understanding is there's limited number of troop placements from the Chinese government there, though, correct?
Yes. Yes, now there's limited, yes.
Then we have it under control, correct?
We do.
No,
Then I
we
need to ask,
don't.
gentlemen, why are we speaking about the secondary policies of the Asian grouping, which is primarily focused on economics?
Well, to counter this, to like actually go now, I have something to propose. What if we start right now for, I think, for the more wealthy countries in Asia, there should be mutual investments between all of us and only between all of us. I think making us into a really strong organization that deals with itself, as well then with dealing with, for example, the US and maybe even China. For this to achieve, we need to build a really strong economy, and this should be mostly done by ourselves.
I need to counter this a bit. I mean, I'm halfly accepting the terms. We should engage deeper with each other, but we should not stop getting investments from the outside.
I find it to be very useless at best for us to not work with outside economic partners. Vietnam, you have benefited much from your relationship with the Americans and the Europeans in terms of exporting your products to them, and you've seen much economic success. But for many of us, we have not we have not received those benefits yet. So I find it to be very odd that you are suggesting that we cut off these relationships with the major economic players when you yourself have already benefited so much from them. I do find that to be very odd.
No, I'm not advocating for like cutting everything like right out. If that came across that way, I'm sorry, that was not my intention. I was just simply saying that we should prioritize each other in investments and then focus on the outside world.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds good to say, but I think that the capital is simply not within Asia yet to maintain something of that level. Like it or not, if we want economic expansion, which I know we all do, there is only one option moving forward, and that is to cooperate with outside members of larger economies.
Yep.
That is what my economic advisors have made very clear to me, and it's what this government is trying to transition to.
Yes, I agree with this. I agree with this, but
we should engage with the outsiders, with the great powers.
Yes,
but we should keep in mind that we will support each other in the past. In the future, prioritized, but not right now. We should gain a bit more of economical power and saying in the world stage before we will do something like this. That's my opinion as the King of Thailand.
Yes, and I also want to add that we can deal with Japan, we can deal with Russia, but I would be wary about China. China, I don't trust.
And yet you sign an agreement with them.
Well, we signed the agreement to stop a kinetic conflict in the region. So simply put it.
Well, my position on it is that we should indeed, as many here suggest, work with outside forces, such as the United States and Japan, and maybe even China. But I also see something in Vietnam's message that we should further cooperate with each other and build each other's economies.
Yes, and I think everybody agreed to that point.
This is the most important thing to us.
No, I think that everybody has no problem with cooperating a bit deeper and, more with the Asian countries and to make more out of this beautiful organization. Mm-hmm. That's in the interest of Thailand as well.
Yeah. Another thing I wanted to propose, and this will be a heavily debated topic, I believe, is to evolve Asian also into a military cooperation organization.
No, I disagree.
I agree, but not now. In the near future.
Myanmar is not willing to cooperate with on a more centralized scale of outside members, especially in Asian. So we would reject this. We understand the sentiment, but due to our own national security reasons, it's simply not possible.
Thailand would accept, but as I said, in the future.
We
So I
understand.
think we have a bit more time.
Yes,
to talk
yes.
about
Like this will take time, of course. But gentlemen, we have to think about the future. How do you, gentlemen, how do you expect to counter China? To simply put it.
Why do we need to counter China? We can hold them at bay, and we can develop ourselves, and then we will be a rival to China.
How can we rival China if we are not even unified in the slightest
Do
military?
you want us to form a single country, or what are you proposing? It seems to me that we're already cooperating here.
No. I'm advocating something like NATO.
Why do we
I
need to
would
always
not-
copy the institutions the West makes?
Yes. I agree with
I
Myanmar.
personally, as the leader of Malaya, have done many deals with China recently, as well as the U.S. I've had some discussions with Japan, and personally, I think that this, what's the word? Block war that seems to be being propagated is non-existent. It's being pushed by medias and specific politicians for their own gain.
It is understandable that
truly-
Vietnam feels this way given their history with China, though. That Myanmar does acknowledge, of course. But, like, it shouldn't let you, Minister Long, define your future. China is not what they used to be. They have to play the game that the West sets now.
I understand the sentiment. Yes, they have to, but I don't want to be caught off guard if China decides to be aggressive again and decides to put its weight around and tries to be aggressive, especially in the spot days.
I agree
We
with
have them-
Vietnam.
We have them in at bay now, but what about the future? What about the new government that will come? If they're like Zeman will not be in charge forever.
That is true. And it does worry my government what will happen when he steps down and who will take over. It worries us a lot.
Yes.
So
There
we
might
need
be-
plans to
There
kind
might
of
be a lot more
unite.
hardliners coming after this.
Yeah, of course. And we shall be united when this happens, actually.
Yes, and
So
Vietnam.
as I said, I'm supporting this.
Yes. So I
Yeah,
would
continue.
be really advocating for us to work together militarily as well, especially to.
I understand the sentiment, but I will remind the Minister of Vietnam that ASEAN is primarily an economic entity, not a military one, and Myanmar is
Well,
not
it can
interested in
change.
changing that. It can, but Myanmar, for one, is not interested in that at this time.
Neither is Malaya.
Okay, for
If ASEAN transforms
Myanmar does have a proposal economically we'd like to suggest.
Go ahead.
Lieutenant?
We would propose the foundation of an Asian Tourist Council for all of our countries to cooperate through both infrastructure and public campaigns to the West to promote more tourism and travel to Southeast Asia, since many of our economies, especially Thailand, which has done it fantastically, have shown the amount of wealth and capital flow that can come into our region through the usage of properly building up tourist hubs around our cultural our sites. Southeast Asia has some of the most deep and fascinating culture in the world, as we all know, and there's much that the Europeans can learn and respect in it when they come to visit. It will provide an opportunity to get a lot of capital flow into our region and becoming more cooperative in how we do that, as becoming a tourist hub broadly through all the other Asian members is, as Myanmar sees it, more useful than simply individually pushing our own countries.
If I may interject, I do not think Thailand's tourism is the perfect thing to base this off of. As
They have shown success.
I apologize.
Wait
I
a
will not
second.
go further. It would
Are
not
you
be
even aware
professional.
of the country that you talk about? Thailand is the most visited country in the Asian area right now.
Yes,
I
sir?
do not think we should be promoting tourism and the allowance of your quote-unquote femboy culture. I don't think it's right coming
What?
from my stance.
That's
What-
very
what did you say?
inappropriate. That's very
Excuse me,
inappropriate
I'm.
to say.
Oh, fuck.
I
What
don't
did
know
I
what to
just hear?
say right now. That's a bit disappointing and that's a bit ridiculous what I'm hearing here right now.
Coming from a majority old Muslim culture. I do not believe that we should be promoting India as disconnected.
Oh.
Was?
Game? Out of roleplay? Yeah, let's see what happened to Twins. He doesn't have a co-op, and that's a pretty big one.
He says he has to leave for like an hour.
He can join when we do the rehost, then that's fine.
Okay.
That's much, but no problem.
1 second. Do I leave him on AI then if he's going to be gone for a whole hour?
Yeah, it'll be fine. It won't fuck him up too much. He's the generic focus tree.
Okay.
But back in roleplay, I have to say that I think what Malaysia's discussing is frankly absurd and uninteresting. So I will move this topic forward. Generally speaking, what has Thailand done to become such a big tourist hub? They have cultivated from a governmental level, the infrastructure in terms of road, trains, and other means, as well as tourist hubs surrounding both their cultural sites, their beaches, and all other places, including the internal regions for hiking and things like that, to incentivize tourist and capital flow, which has proven very effective. I think we've all seen through economic metrics how quickly Thailand has grown through the usage of these policies. Myanmar is looking to do the same. We have much to offer as well. And although I think many nations in Asia could see each other as rivals for tourism, let us be reminded of how much money and how many Westerners, especially the Europeans, are willing to travel such regions. And if we push ourselves in this manner as a group, I think we will be able to pull much away from other regions of the world.
Of course, of course. And as Thailand already tried to support the Myanmarese tourism sector, what we will continue, of course, we would like to offer our experience and know-how for all the other nations in the ASEAN organization.
Indeed.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
So this would be very fruitful. And to start this, I would like to invest in all of the member states' infrastructure in the capital area.
That would be appreciated. Also, oh yeah, you did it. We will prefer it in the Ho Chi Minh City because Ho Chi Minh City is a really culturally important place that also a lot of tourists will visit.
Yes.
But it's fine. You can also
No
do it in
problem.
Hanoi. But we agree with your proposal and we think this is a good idea.
Perfect. And I want to switch the topic for a few minutes back to the military thing. As Thailand still supports this plan, I would like to invite all countries that are anyway interested in something like this to exercises in the near of Bangkok, military exercises. Everyone is invited so we can try to exercise together with our troops to start communication lines between them and test this out.
We respect the Thai government greatly, but as Myanmar has expressed before, we have no desire for a closer, more centralized cooperation between Asian military assets at this time. But we do not mean this as an offensive means, it's just that our own security protocols are not to be shown to even good friends such as Thailand.
Indonesia will be willing to train, like to exercise our troops in Thailand. We look forward
Perfect,
to more
you are
cooperation
invited.
with the Thai state.
You are invited.
Vietnam also would like to join these exercises.
Perfect. We'll meet you in Bangkok then with some generals.
Yes.
Gentlemen, lastly, I would like to ask every one of you to reconsider this decision with the military. I mean, you still have a lot of time. We will talk about this in the future again. And if nobody has something to say, does somebody want to add something? Because otherwise I would end this meeting here.
No, not really.
Nothing
Myanmar,
right
do
now.
you have anything left?
Before we go, we have heard that the protests have ramped up in Myanmar, and we do ask that respectfully everyone stay out of Myanmar's internal business regarding what action we're going to take in terms of how we'll deal with that.
As long as no Thailand, no Thai people are, or should I say, affected, we will not react to this.
Same for Vietnam.
Wonderful. In that case, I am going to take a flight home as there's much to do internally. We look forward to continued cooperation with Asian.
Perfect. It was
Yes.
a very great meeting. Thanks for having. I mean, I'm very happy to have you all here.
Yes.
Have a great and safe flight back.
Yep.
Thank.
All right. Wonderful. They were talking about Thai tourism, yes. Okay, so generally speaking, let me turn the music back on. There are mass protests happening in Yangon. When Than Shui went to that Asian meeting in Bangkok, there were basically huge protests when he left. And the military, his internal officers, without his permission, basically cracked down heavily on the protests, which are, I made like news reports for those in the channel for it. So basically, without his permission, the lower level military just did a violent crackdown on the revolt, on the protests, which he didn't want to do. He wanted to do mass arrests, Than Shui, because he's trying to reform and go away from like the brutal sort of nature of the military. But his own officers decided to crack down. So there was like just mass beatings, and a few people died in the protests in Yangon. So it's made the calls for democracy become a lot worse. So he's desperately trying to reform, but also keep powerful the military, which is not going well. Are you going to play the Wiki 2 game coming up? Maybe. We'll see if I have time for it. Can you explain the focus tree? I can in just a moment. You know, I don't... Remy's music's okay. I don't love it either. I think we will have to find something else. What would be like another... It's just so slow. What would be a good playlist? Let me look for some. Hold on. Myanmar Lo-Fi. Let's see if that's a thing. Favorite champs in League of Legends? Oh man, I played a lot at Pantheon. Oh man, let me look. Is there Myanmar or Burmese Lo-Fi? No. Maybe? Bear with me. Who else did I play? I haven't played League in a while. I played a lot of like ADCs. I played a lot of Lux. I played a lot of Lux.
Hello, this is not RP. I was just asking, can I join? Can I co-op Iran?
Yes, as long as you get his permission. Go talk to Honey Badger about
I
joining.
I got his permission. Can I co-op him? Can I join?
Yes, you'll need his permission. Do you have that?
Yes.
Then yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. I do more lo-fi. We'll go with that. Myanmar, Thailand at odds. IRL 2, the Myanmar leader going to Bangkok would be badly perceived. Yes. It's exacerbating the issues. He's been cooperating with like the Thai king, who is getting more power right now, but it would be perceived as working with the Thai government, not the king. So yes, it's just adding to all the issues. All right, let me actually just read through these now. Myanmar has come under increased pressure from both sides and outside the country to democratize. We must address this issue if our state is to survive. Military rule is no longer sustainable in the 21st century. Neither are a people nor the foreigners whose economic wealth we require will tolerate it. In order to pave the way for democratization, a new constitution must be drafted. The constitution will seek to balance between civilian and military, maintaining the influence of both in politics. So we are making concessions right now in an effort, because again, basically, Than Shui is trying to basically reform Myanmar and open them up for investment so that the nation does better, because it is very stagnated right now, while also maintaining the military sovereignty. So we are making a lot of concessions, but we'll see if he is successful. Out of roleplay, I think we are going to go democratic. I find it more interesting. I'm really bored of just going like militarist governments. I don't find much. I'll play them now and then, but I find it in roleplay to be just so overdone. Military rule no longer sustainable. I mean, if enough crackdowns were done, it'd be possible, but There's a lot of Indian troops on our border. That's concerning. Alright, we're gonna write out a post in Diplo. Yeah, the corruption's really bad, Viking. We have a corruption of 8. So 8 is just overwhelming. It's really integrated into our culture and our economy. I was reading about it earlier. Statement from the Myanmar. Given the recent protests and the poor way in which they were handled, the government of Myanmar has agreed in talks with the Democratic Front to make concessions and work to reorganize the national constitution. We maintain not just the requirement, but the necessity for military rule, but also acknowledge that reforms must be done to keep up with the quickly growing economies of Asia. Our nation is a proud one, and our potential is great. We hope that this will show, not right now, will show a... One second, I'll get to it, just 1 second, man. We hope that this will show a desire to not simply rule through fear, though we are willing to take more extreme measures if order does not return to the capital. Promises of the Democratic Front are that the protests will stop if the new constitution is signed. Construction. Okay. Hello there.
Yeah, Ham, out of RP, can you just remind me whenever, the economic aid thing is up? Because I did promise you that I will give you, human rights funds.
It's whatever you want to do, man. I'm not too worried. It's only the roleplay aspect I care about, so I don't mind.
I keep on forgetting.
No, do whatever. Again, I'm not worried about it. It's just all a roleplay thing, right? So, it's good.
Yeah.
With the 2008 crash, the military regime might be dead. Yes. I think we're going to roleplay a much quicker transition to democracy here. I'm basically roleplaying the fact that when, militaristic and nationalist governments attempt to make reforms because they know that the policies are not sustainable in terms of economics, it can result in basically, a much harder push by reform movements to get power. So, that's what we're going to go for the most part. I might drag it out a bit, though. We'll see. Oh, fuck. I put it in the weekend news channel because I'm a dumbass. Why are all these fucking WebP files? I swear to God. Finally, a JPEG. What's up, Darth Kitsune? Myanmar or Taiwan? Myanmar. I'm doing really well. Hope you're doing well. I've been really busy the last couple weeks. My dad was visiting, which was interesting. I didn't see him in almost 4 years, so that was nice, but felt kind of strange. So I've been doing that and then working on some other stuff. I'm gonna be working more. I'm I'm also dating again, so I might not be too active as much as I used to be. I still want to stream a lot. I want to start making more YouTube content as opposed to streaming as well. So heads up, guys. You may only see me streaming like 2 or 3 times a week because I'm gonna spend some more time on some other stuff in my life, and then I want to focus more on the YouTube channel too because I like streaming a lot, but I really got into like the storytelling aspects of roleplay, and I feel like I can do it better through the YouTube format. Not only in the sense that it'll also just last longer than like, you know, a stream, but I can also like format a lot of cool stuff with it, and I can like turn it into an actual story, which I've really been enjoying a lot more recently than I like streaming and I like playing games, but I'll be honest, I've been enjoying the YouTube creation a little bit better. Even though like it is very hard. Like YouTube editing takes forever, especially with my streams, but I really do enjoy it. I've gotten more into that recently, so just heads up about that. But anyway, been doing good. I'm just not sure a democratic system would actually work in the area, just like the USA trying to install democracy in Afghanistan, but bound to fail. You can't force democracy in more tribalist societies without first changing their ways. We're not going to do a clean transition to democracy, Escova. I never said we would be a real democracy. We are going to have reforms that result in an ousting, technically, of the military, but it won't be that simple. You're right. You're absolutely right. It doesn't happen as easy as, like, I think gets portrayed in history, that's for sure. Are you going democratic or authoritarian? Democratic-ish. Yeah, it's definitely cool. What about doing Twitch streams or campaigns you want to do in different games and turn them into story with subs? That's how I view it now. Like all my Twitch streams from now on are basically just like videos that I'm gonna like turn into like YouTube shit. Or games I just really want to play in because I want to play in them. But I don't want to really stream the stream anymore. I don't really have much interest in that. Like, cause I don't know. It's hard to describe. I'm trying to do a lot of things at once because like I'm trying to organize the Discord into like a role-playing server, which has been very good recently, and that takes a lot of time. And I really want to make YouTube videos because they actually last longer and I can do more with them and I really like it. And I really do like streaming, but I don't play video games as much now as I did like a year ago. I don't play like a year ago I streamed so much because I like to play video games. I just play to play. And I still do that a bit, but now it's more like I've got other things I want to do, and if I want to do roleplay, which I do, I want to be able to turn it into a more long-term story. That's how I view it. So, heads up about that. We'll see how it goes. What do you think about maybe doing a Spore RP campaign? You mean Spore from like 2008 Spore? Man, I played the fuck out of that game when it came out. That'd be interesting, but the graphics are so outdated in it. I played that so much. Me and I had a homeschool group I was friends with when I was a kid, and we all played so much Spore. It was a lot of fun. I haven't thought about that game in years, I'm gonna be honest, so that's interesting. Space Traders from Uruk. That would be kind of fun. Are they ever gonna make a sequel for that game? Yeah, no, it would be fun to go back to. That was a really good game. I really liked Spore. I remember when it came out, my PC could barely run it, and I'm sure if I tried to run it now, I could do it like, you know, my computer would be at like 0.5% CPU capacity. Yeah, it would be. I haven't ran about this because I've been thinking about it a lot lately, and I didn't want to talk about it a bit, I think, today's stream. I've been really thinking about like how I want to do like content creation. Because like my reasons for starting out on streaming was just I wanted like to hang out with people when I played games. And I still want to do that now and again. But like I really do, and like roleplay's got me more into like storytelling. I'm not saying I'm really good at it or anything, I just enjoy it. And I think I can get better at it. And I do feel like I can do that better through other means. Like Twitch, in many ways I don't really like Twitch. I like being on Twitch to like talk to people I play games, but that's the only reason I really like it. In many ways they're a fucking shitty company, and again, I just don't have the desire to play games just to play them anymore. Like I want to do it for a reason. That's why I spend so much time on like organizing the Discord for like roleplay. That's why I'm spending more time now on YouTube, and I will spend more times on it, because like, I don't know. It just seems more interesting and meaningful. Anyway, I want to make that very clear going forward, so people know. Because I gotten questions why I've not been streaming so much lately. So, I heard from Vietnam that ASEAN wanted a military alliance, but it was rejected. Correct, yes. Also, when we would be able to see you suffering from economics empowered revolution geopolitical simulator 4. The graphics in that game are fucking disgusting. I don't know. The graphics in that game make me feel physically unwell. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. When we come back, we're gonna approach the Americans about a debt bailout, or the Chinese, we'll see.
I apologize, but I have an out of RP question for you, Tommy. Hello? Okay, never mind.
So thank you to follow Rika Baffa? Rika Baffa? Try to split where the US started and the second Cold War is gonna start. Could be. What's up, Denise? How's it going, man? Alright.
Sorry for interrupting. I'm trying to join, but it doesn't let me.
You need to talk with Honey Badger to let you in.
Who's Honey Badger?
I think he's called Malaysia.
Malayan Society?
Yes, go talk with him.
Okay.
Okay. I'm doing well. My sister came to visit us today. Nice, man. Does she live somewhere else? I'm older sister, I'm guessing then? It's good to hear, man. Why always the good path? I want to see evil path sometimes. I do it sometimes. I just have less interest in it nowadays, Curse. You know? I feel like, especially in Hoy roleplay, like going fucking fascist every game is so overdone, and I'm just... You know, when I first started roleplaying, all I did was the violent pass. I only did nationalism, monarchism, and fascism, and now I'm like, I don't know. I enjoy it less. Part of it is like in these roleplay games we do in our server, we don't do casual roleplay, it's more like roleplay, and I want to like encourage more like roleplay that doesn't revolve around you like building military and attacking your neighbor. There's more things you can do with it. But I will do evil pass sometimes. Just, it won't be as common. And I get it, man. That's fair. What's up, Mage? How you doing? Mage, are you gonna be here for that Stellaris game tomorrow? Because I did want to give you and then Moose a primer for the factions for how we're gonna roleplay that out if you're up for it. She lives in Never Province. I got you. Got you. You guys close or kind of move away and don't talk much kind of thing? Can you tell me the exact time? It'll start 12:15 EST. What am I renaming? History. Yes, that's correct, Mage. You are close. Nice. Well, I'm sure that was really good for you. Hope you enjoyed it, Denise. Seeing family is always nice. Are we going to keep the Tatmadaw, or are we going to purge it? We're going to purge it, you Rama. We're going to have a reform and go democracy, but then there's something I want to roleplay out. So we're not going to be pure democracy. All right, so let's go talk about a bailout with the Americans. It's not busy. There it is. You can accept them? Yes. Yeah, exactly. I'm selling guns to everyone. Kind of just key what happened to IRL. Exactly. If you're going to be like democracy, but not complete democracy, doesn't mean Myanmar will align closer to China, USA, India, or Japan. Most likely USA, but we'll see. I applied to ban people and keep the server from going anarchist and restore order when will I get evaluated. I will get around to it. There's 2 staff applications I need to do probably tonight or tomorrow. I've just been I've had some a lot of IRL stuff the last few days, so. I actually got my driver's license again today. I had my driving test this morning. I've told the story a few times, but when I moved here, I had a California driver's license, and thought I got it renewed, and it turns out they gave me a driver's permit, which you're not allowed to drive with. It's like a training permit, and I literally I drove around like as like a driving job for a year with it before I renewed it again, and they told me I had a permit, so I had to take the driving test to get my full driver's license apparently. So I did that today, which is good. Fucking ridiculous. I should be most likely, but can't promise. For sure, Mage. No worries. If you got obligations IRL, they come first, of course. Alright. Where's the USA player? Is he in the VC? He is not in any of the VCs. God damn it. Nope, there he is.
115. I don't care, just do LARP. LARP.
Okay.
Hello there.
Boom. Hello.
Yes, hello.
This is an economic minister for the Myanmar government.
Yes, how may we help?
I'm sitting here at the behest of Thon Shui. He apologizes for not being able to come here personally, as he is still dealing with the constitutional revisions in negotiations with the Democratic Front in Myanmar. We are working on reforming our government, as you well know, and we have cracked down heavily on the child soldier issue. As I'm sure you also are aware, your intelligence has made you aware of these issues. But my government is growing increasingly unable to do many of the reforms we want to do to the economics of our country. The interest rates that we have to pay on the foreign debt, which is gouging our country currently, is becoming debilitating and makes reform become much less possible for my government. We wish to seek the possibility of a major bailout from the US government under the assumption that we are continuing to make reforms and have cracked down heavily on many of the issues you along with the EU have seen with our country.
That can be arranged.
Wonderful. We're happy to write out the terms and would of course open ourselves up to American investors more so than other regions if you'd be willing to cooperate with us.
Of course.
That is good to hear. In that case, we will write up the paperwork right now and send it over.
Alright.
Wonderful.
Your should have been paid.
This is huge.
It's only 30 billion.
We
Not
are.
really a lot.
Sorry?
No, I'm just saying it's not really a lot that we paid.
It helps. It did bring our interest rate down by 8%, which is absolutely massive. American credit and capital flow is huge to dealing with this crisis in our country. So we thank you for being willing to do that.
Of course, the Human Rights Fund will continue to flow into Myanmar and other countries that needs it.
We are committed to, although keeping a very strong presence, of course, of the Tatmadaw government, but with necessary reforms to encourage capital growth here in Myanmar. So we thank you for it.
No problem.
Wonderful. Secure the barrel. I'm stunned that you can roll up to the administration, take a test, and get your driver's license. No lessons in practice driving lessons before. You had to do a written test, which I did like 2 weeks or 2 or 3 weeks ago, where you have to pass a bunch of questions, and then you have to do a vision test, which I did, and then you need a scheduled driving test. The issues that are basically the part of our state government, driving stuff is done at a state level, not a federal one, and it's all based on the state, and ours is not well funded. So there's only a couple of testers. There's only one tester active at any location at one time. So I had to literally reserve my driving test almost 2 months in advance to take it. And if I'd failed it, I'd have to wait probably another 2 months to take it again. So bureaucracy at work. Hello there.
Are you planning on launching the UN meeting at any point soon?
How long are we into the game? We usually do it right after 9/11 hits, typically. So which will be any day now.
Okay.
Did Myanmar, not Myanmar, 9/11 didn't hit yet, did it?
I haven't seen the event for it, but...
Yeah, as soon as 9/11 hits is usually when we do our first UN meeting.
Okay. Because Russia and the Philippines need to hot join back in, and I didn't want to do.
Yeah, no, 9/11 should hit literally any day. So if it goes it's a random chance I think every day after a certain time period, so it might just not fire. So we'll have to wait and see.
Okay.
Well, we have everything crashing right now, so you know what? Let's just say that 9/11 happened on 9/11, and we'll just do the rehost now. We'll get the UN meeting going.
Okay. I will.
So get everyone up into the UN channel, and then let's get the rehost.
Where is? Oh, okay. I will drag everyone up there.
All right, we're gonna do a rehost and a UN meeting. They don't need to add 9/11 button for USA players.
Anyone that needs to do a hot join currently can hot join in. If anyone needs to do the hot join, they can hot join in now.
Are we doing a? Hold on, I'm not in the channel, am I? Do we want to? We're halfway through, just about. So let's go ahead and just do a full-blown rehost as well, just for stability reasons.
Okay. Okay.
Yep, we'll get the ID up in just a moment, guys. It'll be going up in the Millennium Dawn announcements. It'll also give the people who crashed a chance to rejoin and stuff. I think most of you know how these UN meetings go. You will have a chance to give a 1-minute speech. When the speeches are done, these permanent members of the Security Council will meet, along with the rotating members, in a channel down where they can make proposals, and then the game will continue. If you'd like to speak, you can go ahead and raise your hand, and then I will call you up one by one. Again, keep your speech below 1 minute. Keep it, not too crazy, and make sure it is realistic. We call upon the speaker from North Korea.
This is Kim Jong-nam speaking. I am pleased to announce that we are modernizing and privatizing many specific parts of our economy. Rather small, of course. However, the impact has been rather noticeable. The effects of the arduous march have been, unfortunately, not rooted out entirely like I have promised, like I announced last year it would by this time. But I do believe by next year it will all be sorted out. I am pleased to say that my visits, both of my visits to various Disneylands, both in America and Tokyo, have turned out well. I thank I thank the Disney Corporation for building such wonderful places. That is all.
Thank you. UN calls upon the speaker from the United States. United States. All right, we'll come back to him. We call upon the speaker from Indonesia.
Hello everyone. Just wanted to announce that the plan that my administration had for Indonesia has ended with great success. We have expanded the office sectors of Jakarta, and we are moving to closer cooperation with the ASEAN countries, and that's basically it. Alright.
Thank you. The UN calls upon the speaker from Afghanistan. Beautiful Alexander the Great.
Hello,
Who will-
fellow UN and United Nations. The Afghanistan government is now gratefully thanking everyone who helped out in the Civil War, and is now announcing that the Civil War is finally over and that terrorism will be eradicated from anywhere in sight. No terrorist is safe. Thank you.
Thank you. The UN calls upon the speaker from Vietnam.
Thank you, General Secretary. Dear colleagues, China is presenting an ever-growing threat, especially now with the leadership change. Mr. Zeman not in power anymore. We are watching with worried eyes towards the rising dragon, as many people would call him. Vietnam will defend its interests, especially in the spot list. Vietnam will not bow to Chinese domination in the Asian region, and Vietnam will work together closely with its allies, such as the newly quote-unquote Soviet Union, to deter China, and we will build this relationship with Russia to also strengthen our armed forces and to further cooperate economic and military cooperation between our states. I have to say that we are quite disappointed by the Asian meeting. Many countries have been how should I say that? We have been very well not receiving the idea of military cooperation between our countries to counter China, and we found this quite disappointing, and this might force us to look elsewhere for this. However, we will still be committed to the economical values and that to the economical values that Asian presents. Thanks for letting me speak.
Thank you. The UN calls upon the speaker from Russia.
Hello, my fellow presidents and prime ministers of the world. The last year has been a hard one for our great nation, well, we see that it may be worrying that the rise of communism is back in Russia, but we implore that our nation is a friendly one. We have had many great talks with the United States to create a bond between the East and West. A world no longer divided, you could say. We implore any nation who happens to require the help of the Russias or of any kind to please seek help in Moscow. Thank you.
Thank you. The UN calls upon the speaker from China.
Yes, yes, greetings. We would like to officially announce that China will be soon, thanks to our extracting of the parcel and now the Spratly Islands, we would like to announce that we will be offering oil to Asia. We would also offer them to join the Shanghai Pact, which is a pact that has China regularly invest in. We would also like to discredit the Vietnam claims that we're trying to use brute force when Malaysia themselves agreed to sell or at least make a deal with us given the Spratly Islands that they had to China. We'd like to make this clear that China is open for business. We are open to sell our oil to such nations. Thank you.
You. The UN calls upon the speaker from the United States.
Good evening, gentlemen of the United Nations. Today we would like to announce the formal recognition and the formation of the United Nations peacekeeping forces, led by Russia, China, and United States, as well as receiving cooperations and supports from countries such as India and other South Korea, Japan, and of course our Asian partners. Aside from that, we will also like to announce that give me a second, please. We are also promoting, starting from now, the anti-terrorist war, as we have been receiving much reports within the African continent of human rights abuses and problem caused alongside with the terrorist that has been running rampage within Congo and such as Somalia. We will also be formally announcing to the United General Assembly that the United States would like to bring to the United Nations Security Council that we are nominating India as one of the United Nations Security Council members.
Yep. The UN calls upon the speaker from Thailand.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Our beautiful kingdom of Thailand has reached economic highs in the recent months. Through the more active rule of me, King Bhumibol Adulyadej, I have been able to improve the economic strength of our glorious country and bring unprecedented prosperity to the country. And my loyal nation has benefited from this. You support my intervention in the weak government of the Prime Minister and wish for further action. You want to preserve the tradition of our glorious kingdom, and that is what we will do. Thailand will awaken with the strength of the king and the will of the people. Long live Thailand. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And we call upon the speaker from Iran.
Good evening, world leaders. Salam alaikum. I am the Supreme
Imbo's
Leader
streaming
of
too.
Iran,
I'll give him a shout out right now.
Ayatollah Sayyid Khamenei. I'd like to bring to your attention the known terrorist as Saddam Hussein. He has assassinated the leaders of Syria and Lebanon, and his regional meddling shall be stopped. Iran takes these extreme actions seriously and would like to call the world leaders to support a potential Iranian intervention within the nation to free the Shia Muslims being prosecuted under Saddam's tyrannical rule. We warn any nation to intervene with this regional dispute, and we bid you a farewell. Thank you.
Thank you. We are going to go ahead and in speeches now, so the permanent members of the Security Council will move down to that channel. Everyone else is welcome to go back into the game, and we are going to get started here in just a moment. Thank you all for coming. But yeah, he streams as well. He just started a stream, so check him out. He's a really good dude. I can't enter the channel, deleted. Which channel, Yograma? In terms of which factions are going to be role-played optimally tomorrow, the Stellar species I'm playing has like two major factions, which is the military and then the remnants of like the Confederacy and the lore of basically the backstory. I'll talk about it a lot at the start of tomorrow's stream, but to put it very simply, the Republicans versus like the dictatorial militarists. I know it kind of sounds simple, but the lore is really like actually complicated and interesting. So yeah, go over it. Oh, you can't enter the channel. It's deleted? Is it not working? Did I click on the wrong one? No, that is the wrong one. Oh, it's because there's a capital, I think.
We're gonna have a really shitty problem.
What's up?
A bunch of people pick their nation while they're still loading.
They should know not to. It is what it is, man.
Yeah, I had to take a phone call and I couldn't yell at anybody.
Fuck. Oh, if they DC, you know.
Alright.
Oh well.
Alright.
I'll be right back. Go grab some coffee. All right. Hmm. This is fucking good coffee. This is like a really good Colombian blend I've got right now. It's so freaking good. Okay, so generally speaking, we are going to continue down our focus tree towards the remaining democratic reforms, but we're going to do, like I think Grama mentioned, there's the option basically to reincorporate the military. So it'll basically be like a puppet government, although technically it is run by the Democracy League. The military basically effectively maintains huge amounts of control for it. And then I think for the rest of the game, we're going to basically be role-playing the balancing between those two and the interest groups of them, and then also like the attempts to like build up the economy and promote tourism in Myanmar. So like the roleplay for this is not crazy. We're not going to conquer Asia or anything. Like what I want to do with this roleplay is basically just roleplay out the difficulties of transitioning to a democracy from authoritarian governments, especially during this time period, and like the innately, I think, corrupting elements that come with trying to develop economically in Southeast Asia. Because we're gonna try and follow the Asian Tiger model, which is basically just getting lots of economic investments from the West and powerful economic countries in order to become an export market, which is what led to, Japan, Korea, Taiwan, Singapore, Vietnam, I guess Malaysia to a lesser degree, Brunei, all becoming very economically powerful at a quicker rate than the other countries in Southeast Asia and the rest of the world, was because they became like hotbeds of investment for the West, and they based all their economies around like exporting all their goods to the Western economies for a lot cheaper. So we're going to basically try and follow that model as Myanmar, but it'll be made a lot more difficult due to the demands and the desire for democracy, and then really an inability of the military to let go. So, yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Does anyone playing Devouring Swarm or Purifier? No. We actually don't have any xenophobes in that game. Samurai, are you in the Discord server? Because I can show you where you can read all their backstories. I might be able to link mine again too. I think I've done that before. I've turned it into a really nice PDF document. Can you link PDF documents in Twitch? I don't think you can. I do have a Google Doc version of it though. Paula. Let's see what this looks like. Yeah, I will link mine real quick. If you have any interest in reading that. Is that, I can't tell if that's an edit link or not though, 1 second. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that's the one I want. But no, there's some really elitist folks, but for the most part, we don't have any purifiers or devouring swarms or anything like that. There are some very like militaristic and very hostile Xenos, but there's nothing like just straight up like murder machines. There's a player playing a corrupted custodian matrix though, so that might turn devouring swarm later on. We'll see. Alright, cool. We're back into the game. The Democracy Party tried to compromise with the entrenched military leadership, a mistake on the surface, but they still attained some power for themselves, I guess, yes. And I want to basically roleplay at the fact that the Democracy Front, the Democracy group, they're not really, like, interested in democracy. They're interested in private corporate power in the government. So there's... all of this is basically what we're doing right now. All these reforms, they're primarily resulting in just, like, continued privatization of, like, the governmental entities and a combination of, like private business and upper middle class, of which there's a very small amount in Myanmar's influencing government. They have no desire to really institute proper democracy. So we're going to become really just a democracy in name and giving like huge power to private corporate entities and foreign industrial conglomerates investing into our country is essentially what we're going to do. So we will on the surface be reforming into a democracy, but really the military will still have almost total control as well as private business, and we're just simply going to rebrand so that we can become more open to investments, and it's so foreign investors and our domestic wealthy individuals are more capable of incentivizing growth in Myanmar because, you know, well, we're a democracy, so you can invest here and not feel bad, when in reality we're not. That's what we're going to do in this roleplay. Mostly. I may add more later. We'll see. So no, we're not going to be a democracy. Except on paper. On paper, we will be a democracy. Yeah. Regular, everyday people will still be, you know, as powerless as they were before. It is harsh to deal with those dudes without compromising. There, Latin America had a lot of those kind of compromises, even when the military juntas were extremely unpopular. Yep. You kind of have to, though. But again, like the roleplay, the story for this game is basically I want to roleplay out like a developing countries struggle to actually like reform into non-authoritarian systems and the innate, I wouldn't say impossibility of it, but how all systems and all reform movements are innately corrupted. So yeah, that's what we're doing today in the next 2 or 3 sessions. I don't know how many of these we'll play for. We haven't set it like how long this game will go for. We'll probably just keep going until there's interest with it, but there's a lot of upcoming games I want to prioritize, and I can only really probably do 2 or 3 a week, so we'll see. I might jump around a bit. Let's ask for another debt bailout from the US. In Brazil, the juntas wasn't completely impune, for example? Impure, or what do you how do you mean, you Grumma? We got the bailout. How can I join in the game? What's up, Pickley? So you join the Discord, and then you get the roles for Millennium Dawn if you want to join Millennium Dawn games. We host all the Paradox games for roleplay. And then when the game happens, you show up. You can reserve before a game starts as well. You can't find the link to the Discord server. They even follow. Really? It should be on my profile, unless it's not working. the link still work? Hold on, does my profile Discord link still work? Now I need to go check it. 1 second. We had some issues with like the Discord like invites not working at all, so let me go check real quick. No, it works. All right, cool. Cool. Just making sure. Oh, impugn means without punishment. Yeah, I mean, like when they got pushed out of power, didn't like literally like no one go to jail for anything, and like didn't the Brazilian military get away with murder essentially? Let me know if that works for you, Pickless. Thank you for follow. In some of our games, yes, Pickless, this is an Asia scenario game, so everything's centered in Asia, so you would not be allowed to play Brazil. What's up, Goldie? Alright, well, I'm gonna write out a post in a second, too. We will do American games, South American games, and then if you get into our tiered games, our server is now divided. We have two types of games. We have non-tiered games, which anyone can play in, and then we have tiered games, which you need one of our higher roleplay rules to basically say we trust you not to ruin games. And we're going to do full map games pretty much only for tiered. We do scenario games for pretty much all of the non-tiered games now to kind of make things more accountable and work better. It's been very effective, but just heads up. Okay, let's do a post. Statements from the National League of Democracy and their allies. Reform is a continual... 1 second, I gotta write out a statement real quick, man. Continual process. It is only through purpose and perseverance that meaningful change is made. When we marched on the Capitol, we were full of hope for a Myanmar not defined by the whims of the military and the elite. Many of our brothers and sisters were injured by the dangerous officers who had co-opted and taken advantage of the leadership. We and his government showed their level-headed governance by immediately meeting with us and agreeing to reforms. The path to change is now lit by the beacons of action. In the coming months, we have agreements from the... So what's their name? It's Hots Madao. To allow for the beginnings of democratic reform in our great nation. This is the beginning of a new era for our people, and let our sacrifice and purpose guide us. There we go.
Sorry, Myanmar.
One moment.
As the this is the United Nations representative, as we are currently hosting the United Nations in New York City. The Americans would like to officially extend their invitation to Myanmar Space Agency and its people into the United Nations Space Program and the United Nations Space Station as part of the joint humanity research program in space.
We would of course, be open to such a proposal, but I don't think you will find many of our people who are trained for it. We have a few aviators, but very limited amount of test pilots.
We are inviting all nations around the world into it, so it's only fair that we also invite you.
Then we would, of course, accept.
Of course, that invitation also goes along to Iran.
We will definitely consider to get back to you regarding this.
Alright, very well. If you accept it, can you just post a weekday news yourself and then ping me, because I got so much people to talk to for real.
Okay.
Alright, thank you.
You.
President, are you available at the moment?
Just finishing this. Yes, what can I do for you? This is Thon Shui of the government of Myanmar. What can I do for you?
Hello, Mr. Thon Shui. Salam alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
I was originally liking to extend my hello to your nation, but after the recent insults of you refusing to meet with us on multiple occasions, it's
Insults? I was not aware that my government was insulting you. Are you aware and abreast of the situation currently in my country right now?
We understand internal affairs.
But do you? We were one step away from a civil war in the last few months. I have been spending all my time cooperating with the Democratic Front and trying to keep stability and peace in my country. I can see how you might be concerned about not being able to talk with us, but frankly, I find it insulting that you are suggesting such things when I'm trying to save the future of my country, which will always take precedent over meeting with foreign diplomats. We need no disrespect to your country of Iran, but I will always prioritize the domestic stability of my country before meeting with foreign powers. And if you can't respect that, I frankly don't know what to say.
I feel we should end the meeting there.
Very well.
Maybe potentially in the future we can have another conversation.
I hope in the future that ambassadors from your country will be not so incendiary.
Iran extends its formal apologies to you, sir.
We accept them. And we do apologize for not meeting with you sooner, but you must understand that it's a very, very unstable situation in my country right now. I am trying to preserve the future of this government.
I shall look into your current domestic affairs when I'm more informed regarding it. Maybe we can have a conversation then.
Very well.
Have a good day, sir.
You too. What did I miss? In my country, Uruguay, the first Democratic president made a compromise with them, and it took more than 15 years to start investigating the crimes and the cases of the disappeared. Yeah. Transitioning away from authoritarian regimes is hard, and it's... Man, it's one of those things where, like, basically you need to give them a way out where they know that they won't go to jail or be executed, so you kind of have to, I guess, like, cooperate with the military government when you're reforming and, like, give them some liberties to not deal with their shit, but... I don't know. It's just... Transitioning away from authoritarian regimes is so difficult, and it's dangerous. Because, like, if you try and say, oh yeah, well, we're gonna reform, and as soon as we do, we're gonna investigate you all and put you in jail, they're just gonna hold on to their power, right? So you kind of have to work with them and be like, oh no, you're fine, we're not gonna investigate you if you want to do it, I think, which is unfortunate. Stellaris does has the best soundtrack. Stellaris soundtrack is absolutely insanely good. EU4 has some pretty good bangers too. The Hoist soundtrack is garbage, with the exception of Katusha. CK3 is okay. It's got some alright ones. CK2 had some really good ones. Imperator has some good music. That's the one good thing I'll say about that game. Alright, Twins is back. Cool. We're gonna go do some fun stuff here if he's not busy. Waking the Tiger music wasn't too bad, LJ. That's true.
It is. There it is.
Thank you very much. It took you long, but at least you paid it back. Thank you very much.
No, I'm sorry. I'm terribly sorry. There was so much going on. I simply forgot.
It's no hush. Don't worry. As long as I make money.
It's very amusing, my friend. Very
I see.
amusing.
I mean, gentlemen, I have to say, money is the big game here.
It
I would
is,
love
it is
just to say I congratulate all of you to making a great country, and I thank all of you for cooperating with India.
You are very charming. Let me kiss your cheeks. Mwah, mwah, my friend.
I appreciate. I thank you, Your Highness. You are one of the best here in India. I might just give you a medal, you know.
Oh, this is very, very, very charming from you. I would like to get it, actually. I like them.
Of course. Gentlemen, I will have to continue my business. I see that
Of course.
Myanmar is here.
Yes.
So-
Mr. Long, let's go, actually.
Gentlemen,
Yes.
It was interesting to hear the proverbial ass kissing to India.
Do you want to kiss as well, my friend? Tan Shui,
It is.
clear.
No, this is not Shan Shui. This is a representative for the Democratic League. I apologize.
Oh.
But I will say no for now. Thank you, though. It's a kind offer.
All right, maybe in future.
I don't think I
maybe
want all
future.
that lipstick on my cheek. No, thank you.
I mean, they are very full. I had some
yes.
Botox in it, actually. Anyway, Mr. Luang, let's go to talks.
Yep,
Business
let's
must go
go.
on.
Yep.
Let me look for my private jet.
Hello there, Prime Minister Vajpayee. I am a representative from the National League for Democracy and the recently formed Democratic Front in Myanmar. Are you aware of who we are and the present circumstances in our country?
I've been vacation since I've been on vacation for a long time, so I'm really out of it. Could you please update me on the situation?
To put it very simply, as you know, our party and the Democracy League in Myanmar has been pushing for reform of the military for decades now. In recent times, our, shall we say, leader, Than Shui, he is a harsh man, but I think he does see the need for reforms and has begun to push a little bit more of changes. When he attended the Asian conference in Bangkok, my party and my people held a series of protests in Yangon, where his officers led a massive crackdown on our protests, killing several of our members. When Than Shui returned home, he acknowledged the poor response and became more open to cooperation with the Democratic Front. And as such, we have begun to negotiate constitutional changes as well as major reforms. We are seeking the support of allies abroad, such as India, but we are primarily seeking economic ones. I'm going to be very frank with you. The upper members of my party are mostly concerned with the economics of things here. The majority of the old school military has pushed not for deregulation, and it has made investment in Myanmar increasingly difficult. My party is backed by a number of international economic interests, as well as leading businessmen within Myanmar, as well as, of course, the common people. These reforms we are seeking are primarily economic of nature. A transition to a more democratic government would allow for more investment in Myanmar without the issue of the past stains of the military, the child soldier issues, and the civil conflicts. We are seeking of a primarily rebranding and some minor reforms in our country, and wish to see if we could cooperate with your government and with your economic interests in the region.
Of course, we are happy to do so. I mean, we see Myanmar as a great potential on Asia.
What we are primarily seeking here is an agreement of investiture in Myanmar. Due to the debt crisis in our country, we're not really able to give it back, but in the future we would be able to. Myanmar is seeking to become an investment hub and a tourist hub of Asia along with our Asian allies. We see ourselves as the bridge between Southeast Asia and India, and we think that economic cooperation will be in the interest not just of your government, but of your private citizens and your industrial and corporate interests.
I see. India is happy to help, of course, as long as we can guarantee that everything that we will help you will be paid and will be returned.
Of course, in the future it would be. We would ask for a promise from your government. We're trying to put pressure on Than Shui to get him to make the changes that we're seeking. If we can convince the other members of his reform party to follow the reforms that we want, we will be able to push him out of power and have the reforms necessary in Myanmar. What we want to do is create an investment promise from leading and powerful economic nations such as yourselves that would be willing to do economic investments in Myanmar only when we have the governmental changes away from the military. So we would ask for a promise publicly from India to invest a certain sum of money into Myanmar as soon as the government makes the proper reforms in Myanmar to put pressure on the military. And in the future, though I would not ask that you say so publicly, we would be happy to return that investment when we are able.
Why is that not supposed to be public?
Because we need to pressure the military. If we simply get a mutual investment deal with you, it will seem as though there is no pressure being put on them, if you understand.
Let me just get it straight. As soon as you rise in power, I shall invest in you.
Very well. Could you make a public statement promising whatever you wish as soon as the military junta is no longer controlling the direct government in Myanmar?
Okay, I think I can do that.
Wonderful. I am very glad to hear that.
We are always happy to help a emerging democracy.
Indeed, indeed. We look forward to continued cooperation with you, Prime Minister Vajpayee. Thank you for your time.
Likewise, thank you. Good luck. You need it.
Hello there.
Hello.
This is a member of the National League for Democracy and the Democratic Front in Myanmar. Are you aware of who we are and the current circumstances in our country?
You are one of the groups that was claimed to be rioters, correct?
No. That is false information that the current minister, Leader Than Shwe, has made clear is not the case. There was a violent crackdown on our protests in Yangon for major reforms to our constitution and government, and it resulted in extreme members of the officer corps of the military in our country taking violent action and deadly action against our organizers. There has been a public apology from Than Shwe and the government, and he has put several of them in prison.
I see, sir. Your Prime Minister originally told us at the last Asian meeting to not get involved in your internal politics.
That's understandable, but I think you would want to hear what I have to say.
Sure, you are free to speak.
We are in the process of putting the necessary pressure on the military junta in Myanmar to have major governmental reform. I want to make one thing very clear behind closed doors. We do not explicitly advocate for extreme measures in democracy. We are seeking more of a rebranding of our country and our government away from the military and their past crimes and poor decisions to incentivize economic growth and capital flows in government. There is a large portion of the current Tatmadaw military junta which is cooperating heavily with us and wants these reforms. The old guard, led primarily by the old veterans, as well as Than Shwe, though he has been more open to reform recently, is seeking to not allow for these sorts of systems. They pushed back against deregulation. We are looking to put pressure on Than Shwe and the old guard to step down from power and allow a new system to be created. We are not going to go to extreme measures of democracy, but on the surface of things, we would be more democratic in nature. The tide is quickly turning against him, and we are looking for partners going into the future to help put pressure in the situation and get a good solution. What we are explicitly asking for is a public statement of a willingness by Malaysia to invest a certain sum of money into our country when the necessary governmental reforms are taken, where the old guard is pushed out. If you would be willing to do so, you would have the full cooperation of the Democratic Front, as well as the non-old guard section of the Myanmar military in the future, and would be seen as one of our primary allies if you would help us to take the necessary steps we need to move forward in Myanmar. I want to make one thing very clear. This is not a rogue faction. We make up the public support of all the companies and wealthy individuals in Myanmar, the will of the people, and a large portion of the military. This is moving slower than many would like, and we think that this sort of pressure would allow us to get to where we want to go a lot quicker. This will happen regardless of now or in 5 years, but we want it to happen quicker as we feel like our economy could be growing much faster and we could be much more well respected internationally. And if you would help us to do that, you would be seen as a very close friend of our government.
While I am willing to support you, what does the Democratic Front's plan on handling your quote-unquote breakaway states?
Reintegration.
In the same way that the current Prime Minister was planning on
A
doing
lot
it,
more,
or in a different way?
much less heavy-handedly. Given autonomy in local regions, freedom of religion, and institution of secular values. Again, we are promoting primarily economic interests and care little for the religious differences that the past administration has pushed so aggressively. I am aware that you are a largely Muslim nation, and I will say very clearly that we will not persecute the Muslim minorities in our country if the necessary changes are made.
I do believe your wording there was poor. You will only guarantee that there will be no prosecution if you are paid this money?
Yes, I have no power in government right now. How am I supposed to stop it if we do not have the power that we are trying to get?
Ah, that was my misunderstanding. Then
That's
I
fine.
apologize. Unfortunately, actually, before I say unfortunately, how much money are you asking for?
It doesn't need to be extreme. Like one factory or whatever worth.
Yes, I will be willing to invest this factory at the end of next.
It doesn't matter
month.
when, we just want a public statement from you promising this if the necessary reforms are made in the government. We're looking, again, to get Than Shui to step down through international pressure.
Yes, I can definitely say many things about Anshui, as I am not particularly friendly with him.
Wonderful.
Considering the last Asian meeting, as how he disregarded my statement, and quite frankly, made me feel very, my opinion in the Asian meeting, very.
As I said, he's
unwanted.
old guard, he's pig-headed, and he, although I think has somewhat good intentions in the recent reforms, is dangerous and needs to be ousted.
I agree. I will go to my publicist and write a strongly worded statement.
So we have your agreement to make the necessary reforms and public statement.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Of course.
In that case, I will return home to Myanmar and prepare more protests to put pressure on the Than Shui Old Guard faction within the military. We look forward to continued cooperation with you, and let me say one more time, ours is a party primarily focused on economic interests, not the enfranchisement of all the people of my country, if you understand.
Of course.
Good. In that case, thank you for your time, President Mohammed, and we'll speak in the future.
Of course. You have a safe trip home.
Thank you. All right, public statement time. Let's see. Statement from the Democratic Front of Myanmar. The recent actions of Than Shui at the Asian meeting, the cooperation with Thailand, the failure to control his officers in dealing with the people, as well as numerous other crimes, are such that the people demand the resignation of this man and the ousting of the so-called old guard faction that he operates with. The Democratic Front is committed to working with the military and doing so transition to a government for the people of Myanmar. It is the primary interest of our government, of our faction, to tackle the rampant corruption of the military, deregulate economically away from the tyranny of centralization, and enfranchise the people of our great nation. Then Shui, you are called on to do the right thing and end this tyrannical government. Okay, let me find a picture to go along with it. You should let me play your political advisor. What's up, Icy? I do need more co-ops in the future in these games. I forgot that I always need a co-op in Millennium Dawn. There's just so much going on. Alright, then we're gonna really make our response. You have bits, morally unacceptable. Appreciate it, man. Only 23 people watching. You deserve way more, mate. Love the content. Cheers. Glad you enjoy it, man. Glad you enjoy it. Alright. Statement from Thon Shui. Today, my fellow citizens, I announce my formal resignation. Our country is a proud one, and we are capable of great things. I did my best to attempt to steer us in a direction that would benefit our future for both our children and all our ancestors. I hope that we do not see lawlessness and chaos engulf our great nation with the dangerous Democratic Front taking power. When I met with their leadership, they made it clear they would take no further action. And I must question the creation of a state based on lies. Despite this, the winds turn against me, and I must resign. Though I hope the military, or my fellow officers who plotted against their own, understand that these lawless protesters will come for them one day as well. I did everything for the good of my people, of my nation. We Alrighty. And with that, we will retire him. We now have Thien Sign, who is a military officer with the faction that cooperated heavily with the Democratic Front, the Democratic League, who will be overseeing the reforms of our government into more democratic systems, which we'll go down on. Cool. We're getting the interest rate down a lot too, 6.9%, not bad. We're looking navally. Not bad. Not bad at all. I know what I want to do next, I just don't know who I want to do it with. Let me think real quick.
Hello, General Tain Sein, leader of Myanmar. He is the king of Thailand.
Greetings. You're speaking with Unseen and the members of the Democratic Front Advisory Committee, who are jointly administering the government's transition away from the old system. What can I do for you?
Yeah, first of all, I think I would like to congratulate you, since you do what your people want. The opinion of the people and the will of the people is always priority number one for my government as well. So yeah, congratulations. And I would like to have more information about this transition into the next government to keep, communication between our nations going. Since we have great
The first thing
relations.
we are negotiating is the release of Aung San Suu Kyi, who, as you know, has been imprisoned for quite some time after the, we will say, the protests that resulted in her imprisonment in the past. As soon as that is done, we
Yes.
are going to open up to privatized media, as well as deregulation of our financial institutions to private entities within Myanmar, as well as a representative form of government that is agreeable to both the military leadership that I represent, as well as my my friends in the Democratic Front.
So you will have still a militaristic government with some democratic elements, right?
We will both jointly work to better the future of our nation together.
Very well. I wish you the best of luck, and I would like to get more information, since we still want to continue the tourism plans that we had with the former government. So when everything is transitioned, I would like to meet you again with future tourism
We'd be happy
plans.
to
This
do
is a
so. I know
pleasure.
that there are many interests within the Democratic Front who are looking to open up to international investment, the tourism industries on the southern coastline of Myanmar, and we have already talks of several investors internationally to do so, and wish to continue to cooperate with Thailand in order to become a hub for such things.
Very great. Okay, nice. Good to hear. I wish the best of luck for your nation. I mean, yeah, the will of the people shall be heard, right?
Of course.
Just like I listen
Of
to
course.
my people.
Always.
Thanks for having me.
You as well. Also, though, would be down to co-op you. I may need one next Thursday. We'll see. I think we're gonna approach South Korea. Yeah, we'll approach South Korea. Where's Chevy? Hello there.
Hello.
I am a member of the Democratic Front in Myanmar, and I represent the burgeoning industrial and corporate interests within my country. I wish to have a meeting with Prime Minister Dae Jung, if he is available.
He is, and how can I help?
Wonderful. As you may or may not know, Myanmar is in the process of reforming into a more democratic government and system, as we seek to oust the more tyrannical rule of the military junta in Myanmar. We are wishing to open up our economy and deregulate and privatize much of the systems we currently have in our country, and wish to open up talks with Korea, South Korea I should say, for perhaps economic ties, as well as for a general understanding, perhaps through economic advisors, of how you managed to so successfully do it in the past.
We definitely are interested in focusing on the southern parts of Asia, and more focusing towards. I can't think of the name of the organization.
ASEAN, I believe.
ASEAN, yes. We would like to start working with Asian and their demographic. If you're willing to help support that, we don't see why we can't be investing into each other.
If you would be willing to cooperate with us, of course we would be happy to make the proper introductions to have you cooperate heavily with Asia, which is, as you know, one of the hottest places for investment and capital flow in the world right now.
We definitely agree, and we see it, and we would like to help promote it.
Wonderful. That is very good to hear.
And to show that our good faith into such a system, we are willing to invest into an area of your choice with South Korean businesses.
That is wonderful to hear. We would appreciate investment into Lower Burma if you are able to, as we are attempting to build a more modernized economic hub next to our capital in Yangon before potentially we do move the capital. We are currently, as I think you may know, in a bit of a debt crisis. The Asian crisis affected Myanmar quite badly, and unlike nations such as yourself, among others, we did not bounce back as strongly as others. When we have successfully tackled our debt crisis, we are going to be looking to also invest internationally to for currency balancing reasons, among other things, and would seek to do so in your own country. But at the present time, I will say, we are incapable of mutual investment. I do apologize for that.
That's fine. I'm just trying to figure out why I can't invest into you.
It's not letting you?
Are you max slots?
Yeah, are you max slots? Oh, you know what? I might be max slots.
You maxed out investments?
Yeah. We were aggressively investing into other nations. Once those slots are done, I will be sending more investment opportunities towards Myanmar.
That's all we wish to hear. I thank you very much. And I would say, behind closed doors, that we are looking to really become the... we are going to give very appealing deals to foreign investors in our country and wish to, frankly, become a more appetizing option for investment than other Asian members, which is already very nice. So any deals that your corporations may want to work out with us, just know that no request is too extreme for us.
Very good. We like to hear that.
Wonderful. Thank you for your time. I know who that is. What's up, Harold? Thank you for the follow. What's up, Harold? How you doing, man?
Okay. I have to ask you an out of roleplay question
Go
about
for it.
roleplay.
Sure.
Can 9/11 be anti-space terrorists and then COVID be a space disease?
As long as it's roleplay.
Okay.
And not just like one sentence that's like, ha ha ha, space terrorism, you know, like actually roleplay it. The rule that we follow in the server is the more crazy the roleplay, the better the quality needed.
Well, I was asking the American player about it, and he's like, nah, Hami's gonna come in and shut that shit down. And I'm like, I don't think
All I
he is.
care
He's like,
about is
"Fine, go
quality
ask him."
roleplay. As long as the quality is there, you can basically do whatever you want within reason. Well, more or
Alright, I'll
less.
go inform him.
I said 1 foot in reality at all times, but you can have 1 foot out of reality as long as the roleplay is good.
Okay. Alright, we'll go tell.
Cool. Just got a Durex ad before entering. Durex. Is that a condom brand? It is a condom brand, yeah. They're in the wrong place, in the wrong demographic to be giving condom ads to Hoi players, I have to say. That's poor ad selection.
Excuse me.
Hello there.
You speak to the representative of the National Democratic Alliance, if I'm correct?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm here to ask a quick question.
What can I do for you?
When are you going to, when is elections going to happen? Or when are you,
We are in the
affecting
process of
executive power?
negotiating with the military government that is open to us the release of Aung San Suu Kyi, as well as some other reforms before we open up to democratic reforms. You must understand that this is a very slow process, as the military is very entrenched. We are doing our best to make sure this happens in a safe manner. More aggressive negotiating tactics could result in people being killed, so we have to take this very slowly.
understand. But I hope you can understand too that India is maxed out on its investment projects and it keeps investing. So I hope that any inconvenience that might happen, you can understand why.
Of course. Again, the investment deal that we had requested of you was primarily to put pressure on Thon Shui to step down, which he did. So, although continued investment from India would be greatly appreciated, we'd love to negotiate with you. The main part of that is already what we've had happen. So we do appreciate your willingness to do so.
Of course. Well, in case, just so I can warn you, if I may not invest into you in time, due to the overwhelming investment projects that we are doing.
I understand.
So I hope
You
you
are a country with many commitments abroad, and we completely respect that.
Of course. I mean, it's really complicated now. I mean, since my political victory in Pakistan, I mean, they stood no chance against the United States and Iran, and with China abandoning them, you know. So
course.
India is always in this running backtrack and stuff. But we hope that we can help as much as possible. But unfortunately, there's a lot of things in our hands right now. You know, we have a handful of problems.
Fine, Mr. Vajpayee, we completely understand your situation and completely accept this. We look forward to continued cooperation when we form a new government.
So if there's any delay, please understand why.
We understand. Thank you.
All right, thank you. You're welcome. Excuse me now. I must go back. Good luck.
Are there going to be maybe some investment talks with Saudi Arabia? Because if I remember correctly, in the region in the southwest of Myanmar, they had some problems, and maybe if they go somewhere democratic, they could be able to RP with some talks with Saudi. Yes, but the thing, we would, but Saudi is not a player, and we have a list of players for these countries for these scenarios that are playable, and I didn't include Saudi Arabia. We went all the way to Iran into Russia. Everything else is in Asia, so we didn't include the Middle Eastern portion of Asia for the most part in this scenario game. Because if you look at the map, all the players are in Asia, with the exception of the U.S. So, yeah, they're not playable in this particular scenario. When we do another tiered Millennium Dawn game, it'll be the full map, and we're gonna, I think, have one of those starting probably in the middle of August. So then it'll be back to the full map games. Yeah, we're running games very differently in the Discord now, which has been good. The roleplay quality has jumped up a lot. It's nice. Smaller games though, which I'm not opposed to. I used to think when I first started playing in multiplayer roleplay that like size was everything, but remember, it's not about size, it's about how you use it. That's what I tell myself. Anyway, but the smaller games are good because like the roleplay is a lot higher, roleplay quality, and everyone like being in the same area basically like forces you to roleplay and not just expand, like, you know, goes like hyper aggressive, which I really like, personally. I think it makes for more interesting roleplay. Aung San Suu Kyi and her supporters have proved their tenacity. It is time to accept defeat in our attempts to crush them. So this will get rid of our repressive government and go for a reformist government, which is good, because what is repressive government giving us right now? We still have it? Yeah. It decreases research speed and decreases non-aligned support, which is not good. Step 0. That's what I say every night to myself. Yeah, same here, man. It's fine. Bye.
Hello, I have come to speak to the Democratic head.
Hello there.
Yes, as you may have known, I stated my statement of, Japan just disconnected. 1 second. I apologize. They just left. Okay,
Who, is he coming back?
He's out of the Discord.
Was that Generalissimo?
I don't know who it was.
He's one of the big countries. He needs a reason to leave, or I'm gonna give him a major ban. As he literally changed his name to I'm AFK for a bit. Okay. It is generally female. I guess he's coming back later, maybe. We'll see. What's up, Lucky LMG? How's it going, man? Thank you for the raid. I appreciate it, man. How's it going? What are you playing? What's up, guys? We are doing a Myanmar Millennium Dawn role-playing game in Asia. It's the Asia scenario game, so everything's centered in Asia. We are in the process of reforming to a democratic government, which is really just going to be a bunch of corporatists in power, so that's what we're up to right now. Hope you had a good stream, man. Anyway, you wish to speak with the Democratic Front. What can I do for you?
Yes. Regarding our statement, how much did that assist you in your?
It was hugely impactful.
democratization?
You, along with India's formal statements and putting pressure on the Than Shwe Old Guard government, has resulted in him stepping down. We are now in negotiations with the remaining part of the military junta to negotiate the release of our leader, Aung San Suu Kyi, as well as the instituting of more democratic principles in Myanmar. We are very thankful to Malaysia and their willingness to cooperate with our government, and as soon as we have put in place our leadership, we will not forget your actions.
Yes, regarding your the regain of your leader, we would like to send the special forces to extract them from this unjust imprisonment.
Than Shwe?
Yes, your leader.
That is not possible at this time.
Why is that? You said he was in prison, no?
He is currently under house arrest.
Oh, I thought you meant he was in an actual prison. I apologize.
No. He is under careful observation of the portion of the military willing to cooperate with the Democratic Front right now.
Okay, I apologize. I thought the situation was much more dire than it was.
He is currently safe and will face a proper and reasonable trial by the new government once it is instituted.
Wait, your leader is?
Sorry? No.
Did I
Out of
miss
roleplay, Than Shwe is the leader of the old military government. He got ousted from power and is under house arrest. And it's a little complicated. I'm doing a more complicated roleplay today. You're talking with the leader of the Democratic Front, which is a combination of all the different democratic parties in Myanmar pushing for reform. So they are still in power. But also, the one who's in prison right now is, you know who Aung San Suu Kyi is? She's pretty famous. Yeah, she's still in prison right now. She hasn't been released from prison yet in 2002. So we're getting her released from prison. So I know there's a lot there.
Okay, sorry. Okay,
there's a lot going on in
my
Myanmar,
brain
man.
hurt for a minute because I'm like, wait, your leader is in prison or isn't in prison?
Well, technically yes, but also no. If that makes it easier.
Yeah, it's house arrest, not prison.
Yes.
House arrest.
Yes.
All right, cool. Well, we appreciate your time to speak with us, and we're glad that we could assist you.
We look forward to cooperation with you personally as well as with an Asian. Thank you for your time, Ambassador.
Of course, we shall return to Kuala Lumpur, where you are always welcome. Have a good day,
Thank you.
sir.
Trying to not make this too overly complex. And once we get a single government in charge, it'll be easier. Because I'm basically primarily role-playing like the Democratic Front, but the military is still in power, and then our leader is in prison, so I guess it is a little confusing. It'll get easier, I promise. But yes, we are going to form like basically a corporate state in Myanmar. Because we're not really reforming to a democracy. We're reforming to a strong-handed Republican system where corporate interests define everything, essentially. What was LMG playing? And if anyone from the raid's still here, what was LMG playing? I'm sure he went to chill after a long stream, I get that, but I'm curious, what was he up to? Is he still doing achievements? I know him and Lou keep, like, they're still competing in achievements. I have not been playing as much Hoi lately. I like Hoi a lot, but roleplay-wise, I'm finding, like, other games to be a lot more interesting right now, to be honest. I'm curious. I can go check his VOD later. We are up to 10 factories after starting at 2 initially from international investment primarily. Obama in the US. In 2002? 2002 Barack Obama. Interesting. We should get the pivot to Asia early then. Because it was under Obama that America did the pivot to Asia, which is a diplomatic, economic, and military refocusing away from Europe to Asia because of the growing power of China, among other reasons. And Obama's government was the one who primarily pushed that. So I'm curious to see if he's going to roleplay that. I would love to roleplay that sometime. Man, that'd be fun. You know, one of these days in a multiplayer game, I'm actually going to get to roleplay a big country. It will happen, I promise. I try not to just, like, snipe the big countries early and, like, abuse my power in this Discord server, but I also really want to just play them and roleplay them. So one of these days, I'm going to be tyrannical and just, like, take it, you know? So, yeah. It'll happen. It'll happen. Roleplay-wise, we are going to probably keep our corruption level. I'm not going to bring this down at all, because we're going to play our corrupt corporate Myanmar. Having fun is Russia, hell yeah. Zuganov, Russia. Oh, okay, we do have Zheng Xinghong. He was the successor to Jiang Zemin, and he was a member of the Shanghai clique, which is Jiang Zemin's faction within China's government. This is all history. He did not get power in real life. When Jiang Zemin basically stepped down, it was more of like the, what is the never name for the Communist Youth League, I think, took power. Anyway, the Shanghai clique, which is Zemin's group, got pushed out of power, so in this timeline, they are going to remain in their position. It's been called corruption in the sense that, like, he had a very big group of governmental officials within China and the CCP who supported him, of which he is one of them. He's actually kind of like a mentor to Zemin in some ways. But they're the ones who are more willing to open up to, like, capitalistic principles. It was under Jiang Zemin that basically China opened its, like, special investment zones, which is basically just making the coastline, like, capitalist. It's a simple way to put it. And anyway, so they're going to be staying with Zemin's policies, which will mean they'll be more open to things like the WTO, World Trade Organization. They'll be more open to economic cooperation with the West and things like that. So that's interesting. I'm very curious to see how they'll roleplay that.
Hello.
Hello there.
Hello, is this Mr. Tyson?
This is not. You were speaking to the leader of the Democratic Front. What can I do for you?
Oh, yes. I would like to support the democratic movement in Myanmar with investments into your country and also greater relationships.
President Venezia, we would be very open to investment from the Philippines and Myanmar. I will say that currently, due to the chaos within our country with the reform movement, as well as the spiraling debt crisis that has remained here since the Asian crisis in '97, we are unable to do mutual investment. I hope that will not cause an issue.
The only thing I want to do, the only thing I want back is friendship and greater relationships. I do not seek investment.
That is something that we are more than capable of doing. And as a fellow Asian member, of course, we are already heavily cooperating with you.
Yeah, where would you want this infrastructure to be?
If you could base it primarily in, one moment, the southern Lower Burma region, we would be greatly appreciative.
Yes, we will. Firstly, we will just invest one, but if we see that it will that we will get back great relationships and great investments and things like that, we will invest another one.
Very well, that is completely reasonable.
Yes. Yes. Thank you for this.
Is there anything else I can do for you, Ambassador?
No.
Thank you for your time.
Nothing.
All right, we're about to release Aung San Suu Kyi, and we're going to write a statement for that in just a minute. She's really fucking corrupt, by the way. She's really fucking corrupt. She's going to basically be a corporate stooge. That's how we're going to roleplay her, which is not entirely inaccurate. Harold, I can't wait till tomorrow's game. It's going to be so good. I'm so excited. Yeah, I'm excited. I know you're excited, Harold. You've been talking about it nonstop since we announced it. I'm really curious. We've got some really good players in that game. We've got some of our really good tiered players in that game, so I am very excited to see how it'll go. What harm can allowing a few journalists to voice their grievances do to us? Alright, did we get the event? I guess we already did, just didn't pop up. There it is. Alright, Dipple post time. Statement from the Joint Democratic Front. What's the name of that military group again? I keep forgetting their name. Tatmadaw. Madaw? Madaw. Transitionary companies. The first step to a new Myanmar is the forgiving of old grievances and the righting of past wrongs. Today, the Democratic Front announces the formal acceptance of the release of, man, what's her name? I forget her name. Yoonki. In parallel to the guarantee of immunity of Thon Shui from any action. So basically, we're going to give Thon Shui, the old leader of Myanmar, complete, like, no one can go after him for what he's done, essentially, is what's going to happen. In addition, a number of other political prisoners will be released in accordance with a treaty that stipulates no action can be taken against the actions of the old government, aka nothing will be investigated, no one will go to prison, everyone gets forgiven. To many, this may seem unfair, but the leadership is only interested in the future of our nation. Myanmar is not a country that should be as it is now. Our future is one of growth and prosperity. If we allow the anger of the past to define our future, we will meet only ruin. This is a first step. Secondly, we are close to finalizing agreements for the privatization of media within the country, though the military will be allowed to retain their own bodies. Numerous international conglomerates and nations have seen our reforms and prepared investments. We would like to thank our partners in the right one. And for their commitment to building a better Myanmar. Reform is not easy, but it is necessary. All right.
This is the representative of South Korea.
Hello there.
Our companies are trying to sign contracts with your businesses in Yangon. Oh, there you go. Okay, thank you.
Oh. Did it get accepted?
It did.
Okay.
It did.
I'm writing a post, so I wasn't looking.
No, it's all good. Take my investment.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Cool. I'm going to make another news article right now, too. Myanmar cuts. Myanmar. How would I say that? Basically, what we're about to do is deregulate all like limits on corporations from doing whatever we want in the country. So, how would I phrase that? Myanmar deregulates. The new government has already relaxed all corporate restrictions. Give it a follow, Shadowhunter. Is that Discord, Shadowhunter? So yeah, we deregulated all limits basically on international or domestic corporations from doing whatever we want. So we're going to see some massive deforestation beginning to happen, no environmental controls on basically anything, and obviously no quality of life for workers with Myanmar, which already didn't exist, but now they're just really willing to let anything happen. What's up, man? I did get your, did Chevy talk to you? Did he do your staff interview, my man? Just heads up. I'm curious about that. I thought he did, but in case he didn't, we could do that later today. Oh god, a Hoffman joke. This is gonna be bad. Yes. What are all these tiny nations around you? Never saw them in a real map. Shadowhunter, they are basically just supposed to represent these ongoing civil wars in Myanmar, wherein there's a bunch of basically little break-off states slash, I guess, groups that are in a civil war of Myanmar. This has been ongoing for a long period of time. They're not technically independent. They are still within Myanmar's borders, but they basically have total autonomy, like militarily and politically, and so as such aren't integrated into Myanmar. We have a bunch of decisions that does allow us to integrate them, which we're going to work on doing as soon as we have formed a proper new government here. Fucking Hoffman jokes, man. Or economic aid from the US. What's their influence on us like right now? 78%. Jesus Christ. We're not going to let them get any more, because if they get 80, he'll probably try and puppet us. It's VA. In fact, we'll combat foreign influence. Getting our own domestic influence up will be brutal, but to be fair, I don't know if we ever will, because I basically want us to become like a corporate shill to basically the international community for economic growth that will basically have all of our autonomy taken from us. And then later on, depending on how many sessions of this game we play, I think I will probably roleplay out like a proper democratic movement in like a couple of years, and the resistance it'll get from both the military and the international corporations. So that'll be interesting. What's up? Strategic player wants to join the USSR, but he couldn't transfer states. What's up, Fred? You're on vacation. Where are you at, Fred? No, you don't have to invade Tajikistan. We'll edit it out in the save file or something. He should be able to transfer his own state. Was he not able to? Oh, Turkey. Nice, man. Hell yeah. Are you on, like, the southern coastline? That's where all the Euros go, I think, right? Or are you in Constantinople? Or Istanbul, I should say. I've been reading too much about Byzantine history lately. We still have to deal with the child soldier issue, too. A long road to go for Myanmar. Nice, hell yeah, man. I'd love to do a proper turkey visit sometime. Really would. We are starting to get some more stability. We are growing our industry. We still have a lot of debt, but it is semi-manageable now, which is what we want. When we get the political power, we're going to raise our population tax rate so we can balance our budget. If we raise taxes a bit, we should be able to balance things. Especially given our recent economic growth. And the drop in interest rate payments we are doing right now. Not right now, Fred. We don't really have any enemies. Except ourselves. Myanmar's only enemy is itself right now. Can't believe I've never played through Myanmar before. I've always looked at their focus tree and thought it looked interesting, but I just never got around to it. What am I naming Fred and what am I naming to? I will allow y'all to vote on what we do with the rebel groups, though. We have two routes we can go with the rebels, which is either crush the rebels and invade them and kill them, or we can reproach with them and reintegrate them into our country. So I will let you guys vote on that one. So y'all will get to choose what route we go for that. That I won't railroad RP-wise. You guys can choose. Oh god, Hoffman. Careful! Careful there, bud! You're dangerously close to the line! Yes, you will have a pull kit tonight. We can do it now, actually. Why not? I mean, it's an auto roleplay kind of situation, so I'll let you guys decide it, and I'll roleplay it whichever way you want it. No. Myanmar, no Myanmar. Hoffman, that's over the line, my man. That's a warning. Is there a mod in chat? Can someone delete that? Hoffman, man, there's a line with a fucked up joke, so you gotta not cross it, alright? Dog, goddamn. This is not like a PG stream for sure, but goddamn, man. Too late, indeed. Do I have no mods in chat right now? Damn, that's rare. All right, I'll give it 1 minute. If there's no mod in chat, someone gets promoted. That's the rule. I promote a new mod every time I don't have one when I need them to do something. Is there actually not a mod in chat right now? Oh no, I can actually check, can I? No way to do this. Yeah, been a while. Alrighty.
Hey, Ham, if I'm not disrupting your RP, I just wanted to ask you if it's possible that you can move my VP into the Vietnam chat because it's maxed out.
What was the question one more time, sorry?
My VP, he is needed in the Vietnam chat, but it's maxed out at the moment. So is it possible that you
I can move him in there, yeah.
Alright, thank you.
Where is he at?
Right here.
He's right in this chat. VP
There you
Joe
go.
Biden.
He's teleported in.
Alright, thank
What's
you.
up, Tomiko?
Also, in RP, we are asking the Myanmar Space Agency to begin an internal review of those who blocks humanity's technological advancements. As recent reviews,
I'm going to be
of the
entirely
terms
honest
impact-
with you, Ambassador. Although we are happy to cooperate with the UN space effort, we don't have a space agency, like I said before. We have test pilots for our very limited Air Force. That is literally all we have.
Of course.
If I'm
and I
gonna,
would
this
understand.
is behind closed doors. I'm going to be entirely honest with you, so.
Of course. Alright, we will be, that would be good enough for us.
Sounds good. What's up, Tomiko? Twins, you got promoted. You're mod in my Twitch chat now. Congratulations. Cool. We relaxed the media constraints. Now we're going to allow labor strikes and unions. Crush them! Alright, crush it is. As the government once dedicated to socialistic principles, it is only right that we show ourselves to be on the side of the workers. Is it close? 4-0 to crush them. Wow. 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 You know, I knew that would win, but I thought at least someone would vote to reconcile with them. God damn. Riley Reed. I know that name. I think. It's the one I'm thinking of. Industrial complexes. Wait, really good armor bonuses. Damn. Realizable. Who in his same mind would want to reconcile? It's a good question. How about hippie confirm? Fuck, man. Some of you have been here long enough to know that I can roleplay absolutely fucking horrendously brutal dictators, so I reject that notion entirely. That being said, I am a dirty globalist, but that's unrelated. I am what Alex Jones has nightmares about. I'm one of the globalists. That's what I am. I got free real estate in Alex Jones's brain. It's beautiful. Alright, let's raise the tax rates.
Myanmar.
Hello there.
Is this a secure line?
I would like to think so.
Good, good. I have, this is the Prime Minister of South Korea.
Ah. Prime Minister Daejung, what can I do for you?
I have some questions in regards to your government. I see that you are taking a more democratic route towards elections and stuff.
Indeed.
Is that true?
Yes.
Okay. What are your steps in procuring that?
We are in the process of opening up the power of labor unions, after which we will be formally forming a new government, which will be underneath the leadership of Aung San Suu Kyi.
Okay.
Within
When
several
the
months, we
US
will have a new government.
When the U.S. came to you, came to your government to bring it into this space coalition, how did they address that to you?
It seemed to, frankly, not be very well constructed. It was just basically asking if we'd like to join it, which for the prestige reasons, my government of course accepted, but frankly, we do not understand why we were invited or what the purpose of it even is. But it looks good on paper, so we agreed, if I'm going to be honest.
Yes, I do have questions because they tried to pit that allowing you into the space agency allows North Korea to join, and I am in outrage.
I don't think comparing the reforms and the changes our government is making is comparable to the issues that North Korea currently has.
I would agree, and I said that, and so America is slightly upset.
I do not like that the U.S. is simply using us as a political vehicle to get their desires done.
I agree. So that is why I called. I just wanted to know how America addressed you in regards to this.
There were no
agency,
details,
because
there were no agreements, it was just a simple yes or no question when then the ambassador left. It was frankly very odd. Based on what
Very
you're
well.
saying, it seems
Okay.
to me that it was basically just used as a ploy to, for some reason, get North Korea to join this organization they're building.
I did not see it as that until just recently.
That is disappointing.
However, I did support your transitions on the international scale because I was very impressed with the news that I've been hearing out of your capital.
We are doing our absolute best to transition into a government where the will of the people and deregulation and corporate power can begin to take hold once the military had total control.
I'm slightly concerned with Laos on your border, but we will see how that escalates or de-escalates, hopefully.
Indeed. We are used to being surrounded by very, shall we say, conflict-ridden regions, so it's nothing new to us.
Very well. And then in the event that peacekeepers are needed in the region, always look to South Korea.
Indeed. We thank you for being willing to involve yourself in Asian matters. You are truly committed to cooperation, and we look forward to seeing you cooperate with Asian in the future.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You as well. So we're getting used by the Americans. I mean, we wanted to be used by the Americans, but more for like cheap investment, not political maneuvering. They're very different, you understand. They're very different. What's up, Jay? I'm so mad I fell asleep 30 minutes before the game. You were like deafened and muted in like the main channel, and everyone's just like, what's Jay doing? Is he playing in this game? I figured you just took a giant bond rip and went to bed, and I think I'm probably right. So, fuck yeah, man.
Hello?
Hello there, who is this?
This is President of Kazakhstan.
Ah. Hello there, President Nazarbayev. What can I do for you?
We would like to invest in your country.
We would be happy to open Myanmar up to investment from Kazakhstani investors. As I'm sure you are very aware, Myanmar has completely deregulated and got rid of all limitations on factories and corporate financing. So you will find that Myanmar is unique and that we will place no restrictions on what you wish to do here.
Alright, that sounds good to me. Where would you like the investment to be in?
What manner of factory, what manner of investments are you primarily looking to do?
Civilian factory. I could do right now only one.
In Lower Burma, that would be perfect in the bottom region.
Alright, Lower Burma.
In the capital, yes.
Okay, in the capital, alright.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your willingness to invest in Myanmar.
No problem. We want just to help the people since you're having an economic problem a little bit.
Yes, we are. We appreciate your willingness to cooperate with us.
I know how that feels because after the Soviet Union, post-Soviet countries were not doing economically well.
No, they were not. It took quite a while for you to rebuild yourself after the collapse. And we are in,
Yes,
although not
we-
as extreme a situation as you were in, we are in, I suppose, a somewhat comparable one.
Yes, we have rebuilt in a very well situation. We are doing pretty good, but we could do better.
Always. We can always do better.
All right. Thank you. Hopefully our work will continue. This is...
Thank you,
Kazakhstan out.
President Nazarbayev. I look forward to speaking with you in the future. Thank you for your time.
Yes. Yes. Goodbye.
What's up, Canyon? Been quite a while. How have you been? I've been good. I've just been very busy, Canyon. Hope everything is good with you. Hope all is good. Hope life is good. Been very busy. Lots of life shit. I'm fucking pissed, man. I did so much research for Cambodia. Fuck. They're empty, so you can play next Thursday if you want, Jay. Nothing wrong with joining next Thursday. We got some great role players in Southeast Asia, so it will be fun. See if we missed any major news too. Apparently there's space terrorists in this game. Like, I've been following this a little bit. You can see it on the Weekday News channel, but essentially, the UN has basically formed a space agency. Instead of having independent space agencies all over the planet, there's now a UN one. And instead of 9/11, Al-Qaeda basically managed to destroy basically I think a satellite launcher, like a space launch. So in this timeline, I guess like terrorists are attacking like this international space program, which is pretty wild. It's a lot of buzzwords. So there's a lot of buzzwords. It's always me. It's always in Millennium Dawn where I say all the buzzwords. I'm gonna join next week. I'm just salty as fuck for myself for doing that. That's fair, man. You're not the only one. Hastening, who was supposed to host this game, literally just slept through it. I still haven't heard from him. We had to get Badger to host it. So you're not alone, my man. They got rid of 9/11, or that's just some alternative focus. In the roleplay, 9/11 didn't happen. It did. Well, 9/11 happened in this timeline, but instead of attacking the Twin Towers, they blew up a UN space agency launch. So, like, the UN space agency that's been formed did, like, a huge launch, and the terrorists blew it up. So that was this timeline's, I guess, 9/11. That's how they're role-playing it out. So, space terrorists. Yeah. We're not involved in it. We've been invited to join the UN Space Agency, but since we literally don't have anything to contribute, we're just there only in name. So we're not really heavily involved with it. Because again, we're Myanmar. We're struggling to get running water and like modern infrastructure built in our country, let alone like a basic satellite, let alone a modern, you know, space system. So yeah, it's very odd. But apparently we were being used by the Americans. I don't know why America's working with North Korea, but they're working with Kim Jong-nam apparently. I'm not too sure why. Something's going on with the Americans. I think they are doing their pivot to Asia in line with Obama's outlook, which is good. I was curious if they do that. Also, we do only have 18 minutes left on this game, so we are getting very close to the end here. I didn't get here for the first hour, so the first hour I was dealing with Paradox launching issues, which I dealt with, so it will be a smaller stream today. But I will be streaming tomorrow, and I'll be also streaming on Sunday, so. Asher Algaratus. Man, some of the names you see in these games are so wild. Nothing like a Hoi Comp lobby, to be fair, but still. I'm hoping we can get to this by the time the game ends today. I think we will have time to get to this, which will give us our new government. The first section is just us reforming. And again, we're not going to be a democracy. We're going to be a very corrupt corporate state that still works heavily with the military. So this is not going to be a rainbow and unicorns and sparkles playthrough where it's like, oh, we're magically a democracy now. Everyone's fair, total equality. We're not doing that. We're going to roleplay with just fucking pure corruption and stagnancy. And later on, I want to probably roleplay a civil war. We'll see. There's a couple routes I want to go with this roleplay. I haven't decided yet. Anything else we need to do right now? I'm trying to think. Got 15 minutes left. We actually might not get all the way to this by the time this ends. It's unfortunate. Suppress negative coverage of the military. Oh my gosh. We're not going to do this. Once we get down to here, we'll be able to do all of our economic international investment stuff too. We can go with China, we can go with Asian, or we can go with the USA. I still haven't decided what we'll do on that. Really, it's whoever we'll cooperate more with economically, so right now I'd say that the US is probably winning. Since they have been so intrinsically tied to our economy. And again, economics will literally define all of our politics from here on out. As soon as we get rid of the military government. Not get rid of it. Transition to a hybrid government. Is that a player? Bro. Did he roleplay that? I swear to God. Oh boy. He's been RPing his intent and the VCs the entire game. Oh, okay, gotcha. I'm just looking at like the one like weekday news post he did, which is just what does it say? It's war. Because some Soleimani prepares his forces. Alright, if he's been doing VC roleplay, that's fine, but I just literally saw that and I was like, oh boy. Oh boy. Cede power to the NLD. It is time to give up power to the pro-democracy camp. No matter, we have preserved the military's independence and influence in the constitution we drafted. So now they're basically jointly in power. The Democratic Front, which represents, on paper, the people of Myanmar, but in reality, really the corporate interests and a lot of like international actors, primarily corporate, but including some countries, will have equal influence of government with the remnants of the military, which does not include, obviously, Thon Shui and the Old Guard. So we'll have a bit of a hybrid government, which will be really interesting.
Hey, the game's supposed to end at like 5:15, 5:30, right?
Correct. We have 13 minutes to go.
Okay, cool. Because there were some people asking me what time it's supposed to end.
Also, I appreciate you hosting, man.
No problem.
That emergency situation. You got time to chat afterwards after I end stream?
Sure.
Cool.
Okay, I'm heading back to Malaysia.
Did someone say something?
Yeah.
Oh man, you're so soft-spoken. Hello there. What can I do for you?
Oh, yes. As you know, the Philippine leader has been shot in the chest. and has now died. And we would like, and right now we don't have a leader. But his last wish was to help the people of Myanmar with investments. Now I can't do that because I'm not in games, but yeah.
I think that it is important that you work on stabilizing your own government. I think capital flow out of the Philippines is not the way to go forward. I think your desire to cooperate and your late president's desire to preserve ASEAN and your partners with Myanmar, but I think for now the Philippines should focus on its own internal economy and stabilizing things, as I'm sure that not only the Philippines but all Asian markets will be impacted by this tragedy.
Yes, but also his last wish was to not firstly to become more liberal, the government to become more liberal, but also to help the states of ASEAN, and you are one part of that.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, and we commend the commitment of Philippines to the ASEAN Agreement and the economic cooperation.
Yes. Thanks. Then I guess there's no agreement for now, but we will be back when we have a more stable government.
Indeed. The game's over in 10 minutes, so we can do it next session.
Okay. Yeah.
Vietnam just did a nuclear test, by the way, in the channels.
I don't want to.
China's been very heavy-handed with them, to be fair, but Jesus Christ.
Yeah, like this can't be accepted. Me that wants to become green.
Nuclear power is very green.
Yeah, only. Yes, but not to like launch it.
Yeah, I know. I understand.
And make it hit like a city. It's not good for the environment and not good for the people.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
All right. So we're not gonna get to the end of this today, unfortunately, guys. We're not gonna get to Sea Power to the NLD. We don't have the time for it. There's only 10 minutes left, or 9 minutes left. It's taken so slow. Charles and his foreign policy. He has a very aggressive foreign policy, especially when he plays China. Charles loves to play China, and he loves aggressive foreign policies, so that is true. All right, so next session when we come back, we are going to be basically negotiating the new government, our transition to pure deregulated corporatism in Myanmar, and probably the political struggles between the military and the Democratic Front. What I'm going to do before next session is I'm going to find a co-op, and I'm going to get me and my co-op to roleplay both the military and the Democratic Front. So we'll either roleplay the head of the military or the Democratic Front, and my co-op will roleplay the other. And we're basically going to have joint power in Myanmar. And I want us to basically like roleplay out like the internal power squabbles and, you know, kind of the issues of Myanmar maintaining like basically a polar system, well, I guess a bipolar system in their government and their constitution. So I will do that. So I'll need to find a co-op for next session. I think that'd be fun. That'd be a fun way to do this. So we'll do that next time. We'll need to agree on any changes we make, and if we don't agree on it, nothing happens. So I think that'll be fun. We're gonna raid Quaza. This game is basically done. Quaza's streaming the rim, like the last part of this, and then he's gonna go, I think, stream something else. So we'll go raid him right now. I'm gonna end stream here because there's really nothing else to do. We won't get to the end of this today, and there's nothing else that's gonna happen in like the last 7 minutes. So we'll go raid him. Let me find where he's at. Quaza plays in a lot of our games. He's a cool dude, good role player. We're gonna go raid him. Tomorrow I am streaming Stellaris Roleplay. It's a tiered game, so the roleplay should be top tier on that. That starts at 12:15 EST. Tomorrow evening at 8:30 EST, I am doing the 4th or 5th session of that Crusader Kings game in the Paradox Interactive Roleplay server, so that should be really fun. There is a Kaiserreich game in the Discord on Saturday. I won't be playing in it, but if that interests you, that's happening in the Discord. On Sunday, I will be continuing with the Bengal EU4 roleplay. Also, generally, guys, I am going to be streaming only 2 or 3 days a week from now on, and I'm going to be focusing a lot more on some stuff I got going in real life, and then also on YouTube. So, just heads up about that generally. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. Yeah. Have a good night.